Hello? Is anyone there? Hey, Saga, what's up? The last stream I did was 7 months ago. Yeah. I was gonna say the last piano stream, but that was the last stream I did in general. Or the most recent. You can probably hear it in my voice. I haven't exercised my stream voice in a while, so I just sound very tired. Maybe because I am. Fluttering Mist, hello. And Jamal, welcome. Hold on a second. It's nice to see some familiar faces. I'm not gonna post this one on Twitter because it's gonna be short. It's probably gonna be. It's gonna be short because my parents are probably gonna be going to bed in like an hour. So, you know, given that it has been 7 months since I did a stream, I was like, hey, you know, short streams aren't bad. A lot of the times when I'll get the urge to stream, but I'll be like, oh, I don't have 3 hours free. But I'll be like, you know, in this situation, it's like, who cares if it's an hour long? Sometimes short streams are better. And a concern I always have. Oh, I see. Okay. Hello. Wow, I haven't seen one of your streams in a long time. Also, I used to be Lilius5, but now I'm Charlie. Hi. Hello. And I see you have the trans pride flag in the background of the profile picture. That's the shit. That's what I'm talking about. I'm at work, but hi. Hello, Jay. Glad you could stop by for like 2 seconds. Everyone I know is like getting a job now. Like, time comes at you fast. It has been a long time. Last time I tuned in, I thought it was cis. Lol, imagine. It's pretty cringe. When the trans comes, it comes at you fast. I guess I could wait for some more people, but yo, Mimi! Oh my god, it's always nice to see you, Mimi. Yeah, I could wait a bit longer, but I guess I can just start. Another issue, I always bring this up when I do piano streams, I always worry that, like, I just play the same songs over and over again. But, I mean, I guess I can try to remedy that this time around. You can do something a bit more low energy. How's summer for you? Surprisingly enough, I still have about a month left before my school starts. I think that's because my school ends its term pretty late. Like, I gotta remember how seasons work. Spring and then summer, yes. My spring quarter usually ends pretty late compared to other schools, I think. So my summer break starts later than most people, I think. So then ends later, obviously. So I still have about a month left. It's all right. I'm gonna be honest. You might add some stuff, and that's good. I don't know who you are, multi-second account lol, but you're modded, so you must have been here before. Professor Beckers, I'm okay. Good luck. I'm gonna be honest here, and you can crucify me for this hot take because I got a lot of I've developed a lot of hot takes in the 7 months since I stopped streaming, but I don't like summer. I have never really liked summer that much as a season. I mean, as a kid, maybe in like 5th grade, it's like, oh yeah, summer, but even then, it's like it's hot, it's humid, it's muggy, it storms all the time. And storms can be okay, but sometimes they're just bad. Mosquitoes up the ass, like literally, not even as a figure of speech. That's really gross. Um, there's so much time in the day during summer when you don't have school that you just sit around and do nothing, or at least that's what I do. It's just I don't like it. Spring is the best. Spring is the better season. Summer sucks. Absolutely. Summer is just worse spring. Yes, thank you. It's like spring has it all. The perfect temperature, like 60, 70 degrees, where like there's the breeze flowing, and you know all the leaves, all the trees are alive, and like actually it's like actually nice to look at them because you can walk outside without dying. Um, it's like perfect like t-shirt slash hoodie weather. Um, yeah, it's just good. Like it's all the benefits of summer, but without any of the negatives. Ah, true. I'm lucky enough to not have allergies, so I can see why that. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna do like a tier list, right? Everything's a tier list nowadays. I didn't read Jay's funny message. Literally called a water break in the middle of this virtual piano lesson to say hi. Taking a break from piano to watch the piano. Funny, like Infinity War stones to destroy the stones reference. Ha, funny. But we're gonna do a quick seasons tier list. You got spring S tier. You got like summer is like C tier. I can say that. The other two are a bit difficult. Summer can go up to like B tier if it's like a really nice summer, but in general, I would say it's like I don't know. I'm always too nice in tier lists. I always give things higher rankings than they should have, because I don't want to be like rude to it. So I mean, I don't want to be rude to summer even though I don't like it. So I'll give it like a low B. Um, Winter is like high B to low A. That's controversial. A lot of people love winter. Um, but I think again, depending on the winter. If it's a winter where you have a bunch of friends, I don't drink hot chocolate. Am I weird? That's something that like I never really got into drinking hot chocolate. Like people are always like, oh, what do you think of what's my favorite part of winter is drinking the hot chocolate with my friends. I don't. I only drink water. Autumn, yeah, autumn is great. I would give it like an A. Would it be a high A? Hmm. But then fall is kind of fall. The fall has like an equal mix of ups and downs because fall, autumn, fall, whatever you want to call it. It's back to school season and like it's the season where things die, but it's like it's beautiful when it dies though, with like the death and rebirth and blah 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 blah. And, like freshman year of high school level symbolism in seasons. Spring baby, yeah. Multi, you still haven't answered my question of what's your if you went used. I did because I didn't ask, but did you used to go by like a different account or something that I would recognize the name of? Too hot or too choco? Um, Spring is pretty wet. Halloween, Halloween instantly, that yeah. I mean, if you take if you take holidays into account, then like summer flops even harder because like what's the best summer holiday? July 4th? No thanks. Not my favorite. Um, and then Christmas. Christmas has winter, of course. Yeah. Um, Spring. What? Spring is like. What holidays does spring have? Um, but yeah, you all raise valid points so far. Hold on a second. Um, Summer break. That is technically a holiday. Yeah, snow is only cool to look at when you actually get a lot of it. If it's like a tiny little bit, then it's like boring. Ah, I don't remember that specifically about like cheering for me and being told about it being released, but the name sounds familiar. I fun fact. I mean, I haven't played like one second. Stay hydrated, kids. Okay, so you were in the Wrench tribe. Gotcha. Um, I haven't played piano yet, and it's been like 10 minutes. But fun fact about those Hamilton comments: they were all left on videos that got like copyright struck or something, or privated or something or other. So they're still preserved because I compiled them into a Google Doc before those videos got taken down. But like they're not going to see the light of day, which is interesting. I mean, if that happened to like my Undertale comments, I would be torn up horribly. Like I would be so upset. But it's fine. um, but yeah, I don't. I'm sure spring has some holidays that I can't think of. I'm getting off topic. I gotta. Ooh. Yeah, I should play a song and then we can talk about seasons. I guess this song is kind of like. This is like a spring slash summer kind of song. I probably have played this on stream before, but whatever. Again, I want to start out with like a more chill song because there's some other songs I would like to. There's like a one or two songs I'd like to play, but I want to like build up to those. So we got Easter, okay. I wasn't sure. I legitimately was not sure whether Easter was in winter or spring because I can never remember when Easter is. But yeah, let's actually do what you guys came for and play some piano, which I've been steadily getting worse at. Pro tip, kids, if you want to stay good at a thing, practice it because I haven't been practicing very much at all for the past like year. So now like a lot of the songs that I love playing I can barely play anymore, which is sad. But I can still play some good stuff, so it's okay. Um yeah, it's all good. Hey, I can't watch it, I have to go right now, but have fun stream. Thank you. Thank you very much, Herb. The king has returned! My boy Brian is here. Um yeah, let's just get started. Again, I don't know much. I don't know why I wasted this much time talking when I only have like an hour or so maybe to stream, but yeah. Okay, here we go. A lot of you will recognize this song, maybe, because I mean, I made like a video about it. I never made a cover of it. Spring song. Fucking wow, I'm bad at everything. I gotta like be in the right mindset when you gotta be in the right mindset when you start a song. Like you can tell from the first note that you play if it's gonna be good or not. And that wasn't very good. Probably not the best song to come back with after 7 months because I'm not used. I'm no longer used to playing in front of like an audience in like a stream, and also that's not a song that I'm particularly familiar with at this point. I mean, I've been playing it for a while on and off, but I still stumble a lot with it. So there are a lot of hiccups, but oh well. Please help me, brethren, I'm famished. Okay, I'll give you a wrench. Yo, John Smith, let's go. Hey, Pigeon, nice to see you. Thank you very much. El Cuervas, let's go! Dude, we got like the all-star cast in here right now. I'm so excited. Um, I want a pizza. Where's the pizza? But yeah, that's as good of a song to come back to as any. Come back with as any. It's a really nice song. I've talked about Spirited Away on stream before. It's fantastic. That song was from Spirited Away, if that wasn't clear. That's like the main theme of the movie. I've always wanted to make a cover of it since I watched the movie like a year ago, but I never got around to it. I did get a really good take, but then I got interrupted by my older brother, which I didn't mind because it was funny. But yeah. um the wrench does not feed, but it allows me to don't no 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 this is wrench communism here, my friend. The wrench marks you as part of our commune. Now we'll share our food with you. Thank you though, I appreciate that. Don't steal an apple. That's how original sin happened. um, but yeah, I got some other songs as well. Um, Still a bit too high energy for that right now though. Let me look through what I have. Yeah, you know what? I might as well bust this one out. It's an easier song, so it won't be, there won't be any hiccups, hopefully. Not that that really matters, but I mean, personally, as the person playing it, I prefer there not to be hiccups. It's very embarrassing. Yeah, there we go. This is a communist household, exactly. Or you can eat the music. This song takes more pages than I thought. Yeah, whatever, I'll just do this. Alright, next song. Again, there's some main songs I want to play, but I gotta build up to those. Where's all these new viewers coming from? Am I getting stream rated? Is that what's happening here? Comments from Undertale. Hold on a sec. Wait, I have a gimmick account? What are you talking about? Hey, I'm actually here for one of your streams. I'm mainly here from your comments. I don't know if this is like often in Undertale, so it's pretty cool to see the dude that writes insanely good players. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad. I mean, I've said it a billion times, but I'm glad people are still like appreciative and stuff, and you know, happy about those comments I wrote. Did they get you to train? Yeah, John Smith said what I want to say. Still cool to see. He finally returns. I missed this too, Saga. I really did. But yeah, we got a lot of new viewers here. The famished dude is my gimmick account. Hello? Yo, nice dab. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna assume that a lot of people just like got notified when they normally wouldn't have. Main theme: epic gaming from Jigsaw. Holy shit! Look at all these unmodded people. I mean, that sounds really good. Look at all these newcomers, I should say. Yeah, that's very odd. Maybe it's just because I haven't streamed in a while. But yeah, if you're curious, that what I just played there was "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd. Okay, yeah, it seems to be what's happening. Just YouTube. Who would I even get rated by? I wonder. Like John Smith. The Outrage team. Why is everyone talking about Undertale? Because I like Undertale, and I left comments on songs related to it. The OST, rather. Let me just welcome everyone individually. Kevin, yeah. Blue33X, Crunchy Raisins, Slimy Cadenza. That's a good name. And XX Phoenix X. Did I not? Oh, I didn't mod Kevin. My bad. I know you from that rain video. Oh, I'm glad people liked the rain video, because that was a bit more of an experimental thing. The rain video, let's go. Yeah, I'm glad the off comments also get a lot of recognition, because those are comments that I'm very proud of. Like, spent a lot of time making sure that they were very like worthwhile comments and stuff. Go for it. The range. I hope my channel's range. Yeah, there was like a Twitter thing where like it was like rate your top 10 best or the top 5 best or something, like best video game OSTs, and I put off at like number 3 or something. Thank you, Phoenix. Are you talking about the comment I left on Global, Kevin? Yeah, that makes sense, Multi. The other 4 was like Undertale One Shot, the classics, Undertale One Shot Off, probably like probably Brawl or something, and I don't remember what the 5th one was. What's your favorite song? Empire Ants. It is the song Empire Ants by Gorillaz. It's been my favorite song for years. Yeah, the One Shot OST is like, I can't listen to any of the songs without like dying instantly. Holy crap, look at all these new viewers. Pretty sure I found you while I was desperate looking for one shot. There probably isn't as many as I would like. favorite song from the NFL OST is Undertale. The track itself called Undertale, track 71. It's too good. It's too good. It's too good. I don't know. Oh yeah, Default Mom. I didn't know what you were talking about for a second, John. Favorite is Waterfall. That's also a very good pick. I've heard people express that before. Nightmare King, like, from... No, that's the Nightmare Knights from Cucumber Quest. Undertale's a really good one. Waterfall Supremacy. Yeah, I knew Cuervus. I knew that was Cuervus' favorite. Core's the best one objectively. I don't take criticism. Oh, from Hollow Knight. I still need to play that through that game. Would you rather fight Jeff the Killer or Slender Man? I would rather fight Slender Man because he's very weak. John Smith would know this. I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom. Yeah, I can't. I don't understand not being able to pick a favorite. Core's my second favorite. There you go. Did you ever play it? No, I did not. That's something I really want to stream at some point, Saga, because I put it off for long enough. The killer was weaker. Dude, should have washed his tub with acid and slipped in it. Which very much sounds like a saw trap. I need to revisit. Creepypastas by Jigsaw. Revisit what? It's storming out here. I didn't come to the stream from his channel. It's recommended. That's good. I'm glad the YouTube algorithm is helping me out as God himself tries to strike me down, as with thunder rumbling in the distance. I mean, this. Yo, Madness Combat. Oh god, I fucking love Madness Combat, dude. You don't understand. I went through like a Madness Combat renaissance recently. Like, if all things, it was because of get ready for this. It was because of the. I'm about to drop the bomb. It was because of the Tricky mod from Friday Night Funkin'. I was just like, I'd always loved Madness Combat from when I was like 8 years old. Like, that was my shit. And then I was sitting there like, you know, it always influenced me in the stuff that I liked, my storytelling and everything. Everything about Madness Combat was so good. John, so you gotta sit through me talking about Madness Combat for like the 20th time in like this, like in the past like month or this week. You know, I'd always loved Madness Combat. It was like one of my favorite things. But over time, you know, as you'd expect, you know, I still loved it, but it wasn't like something I would think about all the time. But then the Tricky mod came out, and then Madness Combat like resurged in the public eye, and I was just like, oh my god, I forgot how much I fucking love this series, and it just took over my brain for like 2 months, and it still is like doing its best out here. It's just so good. It's oh my god, I can't. Anyway, to answer your question, let me look over some stuff. Zeus moment. Zeus is trying to get me as the demigod of I don't remember what we agreed on. Arizona was on a monsoon, Jesus. This comment is really good. Glad that Friday Night Funkin' brought it back. I'll allow it. I do like turtles as well. Yeah, I did make a video about Madness Combat. That was like 3 years ago, maybe 4. Ooh, I finished Beastars. I've always been meaning to watch that. It looks good. Yeah. What tipped you off that I'm a big Kirby fan? Mr. Blue, or Mix Blue. Um, I'm a fake fan, as people on this channel will know. I haven't played many of the games, but I still like Kirby. But to answer the question, yes. Favorite Madness Combat song, favorite song from Madness Combat OST. It's gotta be either. I guess the order would be Madness Combat 10 with Madness Combat 7 like a little below it. Depending on the day, I might even say Madness Combat 7 above Madness Combat 10. But those are the top two indisputably. Then Expurgation is up there, like close third. I was thinking about this, like, I'm shocked someone asked me about this because it's something I was thinking about extensively, like, at some point, within the past, like, month or so. Kirby Enjoyer. Can I play Crossbones? Probably not, honestly, because I'm bad at learning things by ear. Kirby Air Ride is a banger game, yeah. The Smash Run game. Kirby Air Ride 2, please. Oh, cool. I don't know, is that how Crossbones? Oof. But, yeah, I was thinking about this. I was thinking of making... I did actually make a tier list for the Madness Combat episodes, but looking back, it's not that great. I rated some stuff too low. But yeah, other favorite songs... I'm just going to talk about this because I want to talk about it. Yeah, so you got Abrogation, Consternation, Expurgation. Train Madness is fantastic, as you said. Inundation is honestly underrated. It's very simple, but it's good. Kirby's 30th... Oh shit, is that coming up? Triple Deluxe. I bought Triple Deluxe like 5 years ago and I never played it. Ooh, the Crystal Shards. 02, baby. The actual, like, video game Kirby version. Not, you know... Oh shit, that's awesome. I didn't know that. I'll get around to it. My DS doesn't work anymore. Like, it just completely is fried. I don't know, like, no charger I plug into it works. Which also does, unfortunately, I never told you this, John, but the Rhythm Heaven Fever, or whatever, or whichever, not Fever, but the DS Rhythm Heaven that you lent me, I can't play because my DS isn't working. The peak of the series, yo. 3D Battle Royale Kirby? Agony, yeah. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, man. I could make a cover, but I don't really... There's not much sheet music for Madness Combat stuff. Oh yeah, Kirby Air Ride is technically 3D. Oh wait, no, yeah, the Battle Royale. There's, yeah, Kirby Battle Royale for the 3DS. I'm gonna try to, like, because I actually learned this by ear. I'm gonna try to, like... Yeah. I don't know, like, I only know the melody, I don't know anything else. Something like that. And then it keeps going, and then finally it gets to... No, it finally gets to... Something like that. It's supposed to be Powerless Anamnesis from the Madness Combat series. I fucking love those songs. They're so good. Cheshire's a god, like literally god amongst men. Such a good composer. Influenced my taste in music. All that good stuff. Hey, Matt, you made it. Let's go. Slimy, why do you hate the environment in all life? A victory royale. I hope so. I mean, I can look, honestly. What's your favorite Kirby song? I don't know. I don't know very many Kirby songs, honestly. Gourmet Race. Fountain of Dreams. Oh. Kinda, yeah. John. This is not the same theme you're talking about, but I like this one. Yeah. Factory Inspection. Astral Birth Void, yo. Robot Remix. Infiltrate the Junk Factory. Hey, Amaya, welcome. It's always nice to see you. Yeah, I can look around for Manus combat sheets. Not sure which one I would do specifically though, but yeah, I mean, Manus Day is in like a month. Best song in Crystal Stars. What should I play next? Long time no see, indeed. The forest name, I wouldn't know. There's a song I really want to play by the end of this, but I'll get around to that. It's gotta be like unorthodox songs, something I don't usually play. Ooh, oh yeah, you were showing me that. Siva Gunner out here, pumping out the greatest music in history. Favorite Kirby character? Kirby, probably. I don't know who else it would be. Most of these songs I've already played. Well, obviously I played all of them, but most of these songs I play a lot anyway. Spider Dance, play Spider Dance. No. Yo, Rookie and Popple. I did do a cover of The Undertaker's theme. I forgot about that. I'm just looking through sheet music and reminiscing. A Gabe event? Holy shit. Oh wait, no, I thought you meant Gabe the dog. Gabe Newell is equally good though. Was just done playing Here Comes Nico to feel that. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that. Sounds good though. Nagalore, yo, and Marks. That's good. You know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna play one of the songs I wanted to play. Ooh, a lot of TF2 rips. That's good. TF2 OST is really good too. Yeah. Rocket Jump Waltz. What was it? What are some other some of my favorites? Medic! Exclamation points. It Hates Me So Much. Soldier of Dance, classic. Right Behind You, that's a classic. Yeah, I might as well play this. It's basically what I'm gonna play is, The World Revolving, the classic track, but New Game Similar to a Hat in Time, being made by Frog Vibes, and Whatever by Gears for breakfast. Is it related to One Shot? Yeah, so it's gonna be The World Revolving, but it's gonna be specifically based off of a very obscure remix of the game. Yeah. Obscure remix of the song by a YouTuber called Master of Toast. It's one of the best remixes in general. Well, that might be hyping it up too much, but it does what I want it does what I want any good remix to do, which is to take the original and expand upon. It takes the original song and expand upon it in some way, in a very creative and interesting way, and I think you know, it makes the remix makes me like this remix makes me like The World Revolving even more, because of how it, remixes and puts a new spin on the song. It only has like 5,000 views. I don't even know how. I think I just got recommended it one day. But yeah, everyone should check it out. Maybe I'll include a link to it in the description after this is finished, rendering and stuff, and uploads to YouTube. But yeah, I'm just gonna play the song in the way that the remix does it, pretty much, or at least in a way that's inspired by it. And yeah, hopefully you guys will like it. Hat Kid is in the game. Is Nico in the game, though? The title promises. Here's the remix. Okay, let me see if it's the right one. You better not Rickroll me. Yep, that's it. That's the one. Yeah, I've only 6,833 views, but it's so good. I mean, I don't want to big up your expectations too much and be like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever, and then you listen to it and it's just a remix, but it's really good, trust me. And then I'll play it as best as I can here as well, so, yeah. It's been a long, long time from when I've returned. Let's go, Dracos, a.k.a. Illy Dondom and Brando, a.k.a. some other things. Names I don't remember. But yeah, you came just in time. I lost 4 viewers. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, there's not many comments on it. I'm not actually playing right now. I was in an edgy phase last time I showed up here. Barely finished my college. I'm back in form. It's good to know. Good to hear. So I take it you finished it. All right, yeah. I'll just start playing it. We're back up to 9 viewers, so I might as well. So making bad game mods when the composition was yeah, it happens. It's so good. I'm telling you guys, man. But yeah, okay. Here we go. etc., etc. Ooh. Quarter of a year of work in 5 days. That's very relatable. Yeah. That's good though. Really done though. Thank you, Blue. I mean, I've technically had a warm up of the past like 50 minutes. Phoenix. I mean, my first song that I played at the beginning of the stream, I don't think was that great. Yeah. Have you seen the? Yes, I'm really excited for that. Actually, I think it looks really good. You played Darkest Dungeon as part of the externship. What is it? What's an externship? Yeah, it sounds bad. Is it a demo already? Oh, it's probably on Switch online. But yeah, just really going quickly into that remix. I fucking love that remix because the whole thing's really good. But like my absolute favorite part is the ending. Because if you listen to it, it's like, it goes into, well, the ending, like, it does it follows the actual song up until it gets to the point where it's like, well, it goes, yeah, it goes, when it goes like, and then, from there, the actual song goes straight into. But this song actually, in the remix, it goes. It goes back to the very first part, or the very first, like, big chorus, if you want to say, of the song. And it does that for a little bit. And it leaves off in a very, like, it leaves it on a very, like, I guess, unresolved note, like, leading into something. And then, and I fucking love that because it makes the ending part, because in the actual song, this part, that part, obviously, well, not obviously, but that part is the don't forget leitmotif, like, mine is running low, and blah, 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 isn't that in such a blah, blah, promise in our hearts, don't forget, I'm with you in the dark, It's a reincorporation of Don't Forget Leitmotif. The Don't Forget Leitmotif appears a lot throughout the soundtrack. You hear it in, like, Scarlet Forest. You hear it in Field of Hopes and Dreams. I think you even hear it in... Yeah, you hear it in, like, the song that plays when Toriel drives you to school. It's all over the soundtrack. And The World Revolving is the last instance of it in the demos, in Chapter 1's OST, because in I think it's the last song before this. No, it's near the end of it's near the end of the OST. I think it's a little bit before Don't Forget itself, because Don't Forget, it goes Don't Forget, and then Before the Story is the last one. Because I made a video talking about that partly. But I fucking love that the remix is handling it, because it treats the Don't Forget leitmotif as the most important part of the song. Because most remixes would focus on, like, oh, this part sounds really cool, but this remix zeroes in on that "Don't Forget My Motif," and it's like, no, that is the emotional climax of the song. Even if it isn't really in the actual song, like if you listen to the actual track in the OST, it's it's cool. It's a cool reincorporation of the leitmotif, but it doesn't really. It's not much of an emotional climax. It's just the way the song ends, and then it goes straight back into the leitmotif plays, and then it goes back to the beginning. It's not given any particular importance, but this genius master of toast man was like, that leitmotif is super good, and the actual song that it's from, don't forget, is a very emotional song, and it's the through line of the entire game. The entire game builds up to that song being sung to you, and you can talk a lot about whether that's about how you want to interpret the lyrics of that song and what the song actually means in the context of the game, because it can take on a very menacing tone as well. But regardless, it is the emotional climax of the game, or at least of chapter one. So this Chad Master of Toast guy, I gotta mod this person. Um, yeah, all my streams are posted. Nice profile picture, by the way. But yeah, this Chad Master of Toast guy was just like, yes, I'm going to zero in on this leitmotif and make it, because The World Revolving, I would argue, is already a pretty emotional song, and I might be biased about that because um, I like, there's a lot of, you know, uh, if you know Man on the Internet, that channel, he did, I don't know if he still does, but he did a lot of videos for Undertale and Deltarune where he gave the songs lyrics, and he did the Undertale the musical, or at least he organized it. And I really like Undertale the musical, and I really like a lot of the Deltarune songs that he did lyrics for. So like the lyrics he gave the World Revolving are very, very sad. Like, they're a lot of it is just standard Jevil craziness, but the ending especially is very, very melancholic. Um, you can check it out yourself if you want to see what I mean. But I think even before I listened to that, I always got the impression that I'm going into like Deltarune rant mode. I gotta like catch up on comments, by the way. I haven't been looking at the chat at all. I got completely absorbed in what I was talking about. Fancy term for internship, but just a little bit of the job. I spent half the time gaming. Ilidando gaming. Alright, late. Excellent. Hey, well that's good. I'm glad you're here then. Fate brought you to this stream. I made the pog face. Alright. Ooh. I don't listen to them very often unless, to answer Jamal's question from a while ago, how often do you listen to Deltarune and Undertale themes nowadays? I don't listen to them on my own accord very often. Um, if they show up in a video, I'll be very happy, but I don't seek them out myself. It's too emotional. There's a bunch between. Okay, my bad. That goes to show how little I listen to the OST, like of my own accord. Um, okay, Illidan, I don't even know. I don't even know if you played Deltarune, but that's fine as long as you're here for the good pianos and the passion that I have for games, for gaming. Friendship and Home, yeah, probably, absolutely. There's no way it couldn't. It appears in like every other song in the OST, the Don't Forget leitmotif. I also have an insane variety of games, although not as insane as I would like. I have an insane variety of games that I like, in response to a comment from Kevin from a while ago. I have a very long backlog of chat to read. It's not as diverse as I would like, but it is quite a bit of a variety. I love all your comments in the off center. Thank you very much. It does actually, Kevin. Kevin, I just need to press post. Man, no problem. The Chad Master of Toast. Yenny Remus is so good. You understand me, Blue. Cruelty Squad. Yay! Cookie was able to make it. Awesome to see you, Cookie. Hell yeah. Kind of love the word volume. Almost sounds desperate. This has been stuck there forever and just wants out. Exactly. That's what exactly I was about to talk about. There's an element of feeling trapped. It's so bizarre. Like I'm gonna need to catch up on chat before I start ranting about Deltarune again. I love the word revolving lyrics video. It's so good. I'm telling you. Must have watched it like 100 times. We're still going. Yeah. Too many cool hats. Too many homesick references. In response to a message from Cool Hat, I was asking about how many homesick references will Toby jam into the next chapter. Worlds like Cruelty Squad? Huh. Hey, good to know that you can listen with the headphones, Josh. Video essay. Imposter from Amogus says Danny likes milk. Here's your mod for that. You just checked on Bandcamp. It's hard for me to get in new games nowadays. I need someone to like force me to play them, honestly. I'm working on that though. You get like a Medal of Honor, Danny likes milk, for saying imposter from Amogus and spelling it with an O. Yeah, that's fair, Lidando. There's quite a few viewers of mine that don't even play Deltarune or care about Undertale anymore. They're just here for the community, which, that's good. That shows that the fun spans interests and fandoms. God, there's so much to read. Oh, bye, Blue. You said that a while ago, but goodbye. Hey, Dan, what's up? I wish I was that organized, Kevin, with a spreadsheet of every single game I've ever played. Air Stream, thank you. Outer Wilds, yep. Yume Nikki fan games, nice. Yume Nikki is really good. Never played it, but it's very spooky. He's been stuck in there and also stuck in the game. He's just trying to get out of there and enjoy himself in the way only he can. And that is in fact ascending to godhood in WWE. No one's gonna get that joke. I've been bitten. Yeah, I saw that you got into Omori. I never said anything on Twitter because I don't go on Twitter anymore. Well, I do. It's a lie. I don't post on Twitter. But I saw you got into Omori. Omori is super good. I was gonna make a piano cover from it, but I never got around to it. I also wanted to make an AMV of it, but I never got around to that either. We can talk about it in a sec. Hello. Same here, John, with not being able to play new games recently, too frequently. Alright, see you, Kevin. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Imposter from Amogus. Pathologic. You seem to enjoy playing painful games, Lidondo. Imposter from Among Us. Again, Going Under, I have heard that's a good game, Kevin. Don't know about the logic. Long story, dude. Oh, dude, Cuervas, if you made an animatic, I would watch the shit out of it. We played Iconoclast, played Omori, nice. Need to Learn and Not Die First, same. And the Matic. The Binding of Us is the only game. It is a time sink. It takes away your ability to play any other games. I have, actually, Multi. I could play that right now. I don't think I've done the whole I don't think I've learned the whole thing, but I learned part of it by ear. It's like a spoiler, though. Never mind, I can't do that. Masochist's experiences. Oof. My name is Ari now. That's two Aris in the community. Funny how that works. I mean, Hotline Miami 2 is good, though. Nia will forever live in our hearts. I'm caught up. Kind of. Our reception. But yeah, so Mori's really good. I gotta go back to playing with Deltarune. I have not. The only song I learned how to play was like, not a couple others, I think. I didn't get to learn to play. I didn't. I played Omori during a very stressful and busy part of my period of time, so I didn't have much time to do anything creative related to. Excuse me. But I'll get to that in a second. Deltarune. I could talk for hours about Deltarune, dude. I mean, literally, I was thinking about this. Like, this is a bit of an insider scoop. I don't know if you guys know this. Shut the. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up, John! Shut up! I have played Omori. Have you played Omori, Josh? It's like everyone has played Omori, but I don't know who. I don't know who has because no one ever announces it. Students, but you'd have a stream subscription fee. Piano, though, very nice. Thank you, answer. Right now we're in real Deltarune discussion hours though, so you might have to wait a bit. Person, yo, sleepy dog. Thank you for compiling. I mean, I've said this before last time you showed up, but thank you for compiling my piano covers into a playlist. Don't worry, Josh. People haven't been very band heavy this stream. There's been like 6, 7 new viewers, and none of them have gotten timed out. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not gonna say anything about anything related to Omori because I don't want any spoilers. Cheers, my guy. Okay, Armageddon is on a holiday for now. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, Saga's played it. You know, you Cuervis have played it. Like, snap the fingers. You know, some of my friends have played it. Like, it's gotten around, but then I don't see people talk about it. Honestly, probably because it's hard to talk about the game without spoiling it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's really good, Elidonda. If you want to talk about nothing, didn't say anything. Hey, nice. Saga, that's nice. I don't remember who. Oh yeah, okay. Now I know who you're talking about. It's also funny when something that you think is super popular turns out to be a very specific to you thing. Like, it's wild to me that most people don't know the Hell Song by Sum 41, which I played in the stream from 7 months ago. Because, like, I grew up listening to that song all the time, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a pretty niche song, actually. Or, like, knowing that like Soul Eater isn't as wild. Huh? Oh. Or knowing that like Soul Eater isn't as wildly popular as like Naruto or something, because I grew up watching that too. Yeah, Blue Dragon moment. I'll play one more song and then I can transition this to a chill stream because there's clearly a lot of I still want to talk about and that we still want to talk about, like Deltarune. I'll play one more song, Deltarune related, because my parents are about to go to bed, I think. No new Deltarune news. Not really. Not anything substantial. Thank you, Sleepy. It's very spooky. It's the spookiest game I've ever played for various reasons. I can't spoil that though. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. I wouldn't really know. It's not all horror. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Last song before I go upstairs and bring this phone with me. Chill stream. I haven't done that in like 2 years. It's really nice. It's been so long, yeah. Amnesia's not scary. That's my hot take before I get into this. Alright, so I do want to make a piano cover of this song in a bit at some point. So here's like a sneak peek, I guess. Hey, nice to see you, Jay. I should probably change the title of this stream because it's no longer accurate. Can I even do that? Edit video. Okay, I think I can. I'll do that later. Alright, so yeah. Deltarune related. That's what I was saying, Josh. Everyone has jobs now. It's crazy. Okay, I'll play. Yeah, I fucking love The Legend. I gotta go upstairs now. Let me unplug my computer and stuff. Thank you guys. Yeah, that's wild to me. Whatever. Horror game. I didn't grab my water. Hold on, I gotta go back for that. I can't read chat without showing my face. I gotta go to the bathroom. Hold on. You guys need to. I'm putting you guys on hold for like a good 4 minutes. Okay, I gotta remember how I used to do these. There we go, I think. Okay. Gotta catch up on a lot of stuff. I need to stop getting old. Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion looks interesting. I'm going back and reading old messages. I think I know which mistake you were talking about, Josh. I think that was a mistake, but I'm glad it sounded good. Thank you guys for all the kind words, by the way. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna hit another. We're gonna hit the Deltarune tipping point where Deltarune Tipping will be as old as Undertale was when Deltarune released. It feels like it was not that long ago, honestly. It's been like 3 years, I think. The fact that it was only 4 years. No, it was only 3 years after Undertale came out that Deltarune came out. I'm pretty sure. That's wild. It felt like it was way longer. Thank you guys. Well, okay, I'm very late, but good night, Amaya. Thanks for stopping by. Yo, let's go, Redando. We love seeing real content. Our irony is fine, but real content is better. Sometimes, yeah. Usually. The classic 7 years in development mark in a row game. Tired of starting and not finishing joke project when I have actual creative prospects. Yeah, that makes sense. No problem, Manster. I assume that if you're still here, thank you. If not, then glad you stopped by. I don't know what hyperbolic is, Saga. I didn't even know that Kerbal Space Program 2 was being made. Yo, let's go, Willy Dondo. I want to see that. Oh yeah, I forgot it was called, like, Bomb? No, that's not it. Whatever the new game is, that Jet Set Radio kind of game. Yeah, Corvus from like 5 minutes ago. I do want to make a cover of it. It's just I haven't gotten around to it. Is it your main account? Rest in peace, Dracost. glad it was good. I gotta listen back to it and see if it was good. Maybe I one-upped Toby Fox there. That's cool, Josh. I'm not good at improvising. Maybe I should try more. Thank you, Anster. Of course, everyone here is famous. Deltarune is too good. Yeah, everyone's always welcome back here. In response to Illidando's message from a while ago. Thought it was a 20-minute demo. I mean, I played through it in one day, but that's just because I wanted to. There's no fucking way Deltarune's here. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Until 6th anniversary, my god, I'm crumbling to dust. And my bones are rotting away. Choir music? Is choir what? It's not theirs until Halloween. Yeah, true. Rip Dracos forever in our hearts. Okay, answer is still here. Nice. You can go back in the stream. Wait, no, you can't do that. Can you? I don't know. I can't believe Big Chungus would say this. No, he doesn't get to do the review, actually. Okay, you can't. That's a shame. Dream exploration game, cool. It's always nice to see new faces, Phoenix. I don't think you have, Elidondo. If you have, I don't remember. Yeah, they get streamed it, so you can come back at some point. Give me the timestamp, Doctor Strange. Yo, that's sick, Elidondo. Okay, I'm caught up. If you're talking about what I think you're talking about, Josh, hold on. Talk about what I'm thinking about. What I think you're talking about, that's fucking wild. Like, I mean, I don't know how big the town is, so I don't know like how likely that is, but like, sitcom moments. Wait, timestamp for what? It is really cool, Illidanto. That sounds like a game in and of itself. K-Fed 2 is like... I could go on and on about K-Fed 2, man. Forceless Requiem as well. I've never thought about game dev. It requires coding, and even though I'm minoring in CS, I'm not good at coding, and I don't really want to learn what's required to do that. Even with something like RPG Maker, where it's like all laid out for you, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work. It is very tight-knit. When I do stream and upload videos, it's very tight-knit. It's all dependent on that first part, though, of me actually doing things. Game dev, my beloved. Ah, okay, that makes more sense. That makes it less, like, absurd and, like, the universe is out to get you, but it's still very, very funny. I guess that explains, yeah. Explains why you got a job at both places if they're close together. Yeah. Much more ambitious. Yeah, I don't know what the limits of RPG Maker are. Being friends with multiple game dev friends, I realize I don't want to be a game dev. Yeah. I mean, that's also fair, Chris. One of my friends told me I have game director energy just because of how much I rant and rave about, like, stuff like video games and how, into my own mind I get, like, and how passionate I get about, like, certain ideas and conveying them in a way that I like. Which I can see. It's just, yeah, the work. I don't know if I'd be willing to put in the work. Me too, John. That's good, Elidondo. Keep that resolve. 3D graphics in HTML5 plus JavaScript with no libraries. It sounds difficult. Once. Once. As a treat. No, no problem, Phoenix. Anytime. I don't want to go back. I don't want to. No, I don't want to be bred. No! I gotta change the name of the stream 1 second. Okay, that works. Hopefully that doesn't, like, destroy the stream. One second. Alright, we're back. Just have to adjust. Yo, Josh with no libraries. Memory Palace, I don't know. I don't think I know that. 20 plus lines in I have a triangle. I mean, don't do it if it's like Illidan. Don't do it if it's like too extreme. No libraries. I mean, you can get library. You can get bookworm if you just get really lucky without a library. I mean, honestly, it's not that difficult if you're playing as Bethany, because then you start with Book of Virtues. You can find Book of. I mean, it's not impossible. It's a lot easier with Bethany because you could just get like Monster Manual and Anarchist Cookbook. Animatronics in the ocean. Sounds like you would be afraid of submechanophobia. You wouldn't be afraid of it, you would have it. You aren't afraid of phobias. Yeah, and Judas and Tina Bethany. Good luck, Josh. Best of luck. That's all I can say. You got this. Got this. What? That makes sense, Iridondo. I mean, it wasn't. It's not usually the case with me, but with Amnesia, for whatever reason, it wasn't scary to me. Maybe because I played it with friends around, but it just wasn't spooky to me. No problem, Josh. Good night, cool hat. Appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah, that's fair. Should I go back to talking about Deltarune? This is the dilemma I face. Because is Subnautica scary for you? I'm scared of the ocean. I'm scared of drowning. I'm also scared of sea creatures. That doesn't sound very fun. But yeah, this is something that I wasn't gonna talk about initially, but I might as well. Like, so you know my comments on the Unshelled OST and everything, and the off and all that stuff, yada yada yada. And you know how I was writing comments for the Deltarune. Well, some people might not know this, but I did write some comments on the Deltarune OST on someone's upload of it, but I never got very far. I got to like track 20 maybe, if that. And I kind of left it at that because I ran out of steam to write the rest for various reasons. Like, I think I was holding myself to too high of a standard and trying to write like a college thesis on every single track when that's not what it's about. But what I did end up doing later, like a year afterwards, was write a note on my phone on like the Memos app of things that I would want to write comments about for each track that I hadn't written a comment about already. Just like little notes like, okay, if I were to write a comment on this track, like, say Chaos King, I would go over and be like, okay, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this. And I did this for every track that I didn't comment on. And it's still there, and I've actually talked about these notes that I have with other people, like other friends of mine. And, like, I could go over those right now, honestly, because I love Deltarune, I love Undertale, I love talking about things that I'm passionate about. So yeah, I mean, it'd basically be an unofficial, because I honestly don't think I'll ever get around to writing them, just because maybe if Deltarune as the full game comes out and those tracks are still in the game, which because they might not be, but if they're still in the game, maybe I'll get around to it. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath because that won't be for a while anyway. Gamer instincts. Darwin Awards, Josh. Oh, drowning. Gotcha. John Smith. Andy on his way to write Deathman comes among us Peter and GIF. Yes! Yes! No! The video is perfect. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up The Worst Task in Among Us, I think it's called. It's the perfect video. Yo, what Ilidondo is describing sounds like what you were describing, John Smith, with the fan. And the fan pointed at the Mac computer. Mediocre covers and dubs. Have you been on a stream before? I might know you, but I just don't know that recognize the current username. Oh, it's Class. Oh, classic 444 mods in a row game. But yeah, like I love Deltarune, and then there's a lot of things. Is Guerra still here? We were gonna talk about Amori, although I can't really talk about it because there's spoilers abound. Yeah, like can run more than Isaac without crying. Funny Isaac and crying. Epic Isaac reference. Alright, you're here. Yeah, I was gonna talk about. I mean, okay. Here's what I will say. I just have them. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Here's what I will say. I was debating on tweeting this because I felt like it was a tweetable sentiment, but I didn't get around to it because I don't like using Twitter. I did tweet about. I did make a tweet to commemorate the ending of JoJo Part 8. That was the one instance where I was going to write my own tweets. Like the only instances where I would feel compelled to write my own tweet where it's not like signal boosting, like a cause that's a charitable cause or something. Because I do tweets, but it's usually just retweeting like retweeting signal boost stuff, and also like tweeting like I just did this is like a where they pre-write the tweet for you and then you just click to spread awareness. But the only things that I ever nowadays would actually log onto Twitter and write a tweet for are like anything related to Undertale and Deltarune and anything related to JoJo. That's the two genders. Like, I can't see myself tweeting about anything else because I wouldn't feel strongly enough about it that I want to post a permanent tweet about it. You could delete it, but like I wouldn't care enough. um Sans dies and more. No, 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 no. Um, kind of quit Isaac after 6 years. Fair enough. Oh yeah, I did, but that was for like an event. Listen, Blathers, I would if I was at my piano and I could play right now, but I can't because my parents are trying to sleep. Um, the Joe gender, the greedy grin. um, yeah, that's fairly done. That's the only good thing to use Twitter for. Howdy. No, no, no. But to answer your question, Sleepy Dog, Part 6 is the one they're making an anime of right now, or it's in the works. Part 8 is still a long ways off. But yeah, Part 8 ended recently, and I wrote a tweet about it. But to go back to what I was really saying, I get sidetracked. I was considering writing a tweet about this, but I didn't. But Cuervis, I was going to tweet out the following. I was going to say, quote unquote, breaking my Twitter, breaking my drought of original tweets to comment that I'm shocked that no one has made an animatic or a music video of Amori to Kids by MGMT. Like, end quote. Like, without I feel like that's spoiler. Even that is a spoiler. I wouldn't want to give in. Amori is a game that is to such a degree where you shouldn't know anything. Where I would have preferred to not even like know what genre of game it was because I kind of didn't really know. I had a vague idea, but I was like, is it really like when I played it, I had my doubts at first that it would be this kind of game. Like I would honestly recommend you to play it without even knowing like what genre it is. You know, whether I mean anything about it, which is unavoidable if you already heard it. But like, it's that kind of game. It's better if you don't know anything. So by saying I feel like it would fit with Kids by MGMT, I feel like that's spoiling enough already. But like, Kids is such a good song, and it's such a beloved song that like everybody loves. I feel like, at least everyone I know. I've never heard anyone dislike Kids by MGMT. Like, if you don't know what the song is, it's like the song that goes ba 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 da 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 do do, and it was like control yourself, take only what you need from it, that kind of stuff. It's such a good song, and it's such a widely popular song, and it like I feel like it fits Amori really well. I'm shocked that no one's done anything for it. But I guess the Amori AMV community and animatic, maybe the animatic community is very strong, but AMVs nowadays are kind of dead anyway. I'm like the only person who makes AMVs anymore. um, oh yeah, sure. Give me a second. I'll be drinking that one. Yeah, I'll send you that in a second, Corvus. Never had a huge problem with spoilers. Sometimes I have to see the entire thing. I mean, that's same with me, honestly. I'm trying to change that, though. It used to be that I would have to spoil something for myself before experiencing any of it, but I don't like that. I want to change that. I mean, I guess Saga. I mean, in an ideal world where you could play Amori for free the whole game, I would recommend. I would prefer if you didn't go and if you went in going new. If you went in knowing nothing, but given the fact that it's like $20. Mitsuki, okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate answer, the whole DDLC thing. It's inevitable, but yeah, normally it doesn't for me, but I feel like with me for Amoria, it kind of did. In this specific instance. Never played DDLC. What's the guy's name? Dan Salvato? Hello, Dan Salvato. You made a dating simulator. Gotcha. I mean, usually, I would imagine. I'm gonna send you that song now, by the way. I have the right account, right? Yeah, I do. Alright, I sent you it as a message on Twitter. Play games that require walkthroughs. It's unless your name is Edmund McMillan. Yeah, that's the same with me, Elidondo. Again, I'm trying to break that, but I do understand. It's playing a new game is a commitment, man. Like just being like I'm going to not even if all games are free, even if we lived in a world where all games are free, and you didn't have to pay, an entrance fee. Taking the time to be like, okay, I'm going to devote, however many hours to this game. That's a commitment, and I wouldn't usually want to make that commitment without knowing that it's a game I like. But again, I'm trying not to spoil myself too much anymore. Amori is a case where I ended up accidentally spoiling myself on some stuff, and it impacted my experience with the game. I still loved it though. Yeah, same here, John. Same with a lot of us, I'm sure. Do 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 do. But yeah, last game I played through without any spoilers. Yeah, same. Corvus. Case of the Mondays. Homestuck moments. Yeah, but uh yeah, not to detract from the current conversation, but if people would want me to what time is it? Yeah, whatever. People would want me to like really quickly go through some of those um notes I wrote about the Deltarune OST tracks and what I would say about each of them. I would always be down. I'm always down to talk about things I like and things that I'm passionate about. All right, say no more. I trust my friend's judgment. What I do is that I make bets with my friends. If I can't beat this boss, I'm gonna read Homestuck. Ends up beating the boss and nothing happens. Homestuck moment. You'll die in 5 seconds. What's JSAB? Oh, just shapes and beats. Nice Homestuck reference, bro. Delta in time, says John. I won $20, 120% clearing Spyro under one. I mean, Spyro was cool. I'm like Spyro. I never played Spyro. I never played Spyro. There's a really good account called Jigsaw Quotes that John and I are constantly referencing. Check it out at some point. The Germa debt. Yeah, that's a mood. All right, Golden Galaxy. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate that, and hope you have a good night as well. See ya. Haha, is that a home? Haha, is that a Homestuck? I gotta like get the camera to focus on this. Haha, is that a Homestuck the bloke the have you ever had a dream where you want? All right, see you as well, Multi. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Thanks for bringing up Madness Combat, so I got to talk about Madness Combat. See you later. Oh, good night as well, Saga. Everyone's leaving. No. House trapped. It is peak comedy, John. God, it's so fucking good. Madness Combat. Ugh. I'm losing comrades, man. Staying for the whole stream. Hell yeah, lay down. We're ride or die. It's funny because I really feel free to chime in about the Deltarune thing if you want me to do it. I will only do it if multiple people want me to do it. But it's funny because I got into Madness Combat as a kid when I was like 8, and I was pretty put off by the violence at the time. The worst, definitely my least favorite. I said at 5 a.m. these days. Me too. I'm trying to change that though. Though my least favorite part of Madness Combat is in the entire series. I mean, not counting the non-canon stuff because there's some gross stuff, but in the canon series, along with like including the shorts and even the non-canon incidents, my least favorite moment in all of Madness Combat is Madness Combat 3, where the guy, one of the clone hero YouTubers, let's go. I don't mind. I mean, Tricky Mod gave it more publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, man. For a series as good as Madness Combat. Ah, Newgrounds, man. That's where all the Flash games were at. But yeah, my least favorite moment in all of Madness Combat is in Madness Combat 3 Avenger, when Hank is getting, Hank gets boxed in by some walls that fall from the sky, and he gets attacked by some more grunts, and I should say they're canonically not agender. Hank and everyone else in the Madness Combat universes. Hank is, so Hank gets attacked by some grunts, and they shoot at one grunt, and their head splits open because of the bullet, and like literal gallons of blood start. Yes, my bad. Content warning for blood, but literal like gallons of blood start pouring from their head. And it fills up the room. It's gross. It's gratuitous. I respect Madness Combat a lot because it's very violent, but it's never gratuitously violent in my opinion, except for that moment. Like Madness Combat 6 is really good in terms of action, but I don't like it too much because it's too violent. Like Hank just goes apeshit in that one and like rips people's heads off, and it's like it gets too much for my taste. Like something I really respect Man is Coming for, along with a lot of other stuff, is that it toes the line perfectly in most cases of being violent but never, you know, grossly violent. Like I hate ultra violence in like anything. Like I don't like. I mean, Mortal Kombat is fine, but I look away from the screen whenever there's a fatality because it's gross. And like a lot of animations on the internet are like anime that are intentionally gory and gratuitous. Like I have no interest whatsoever, negative interest. But Man is Combat is violent as shit, but it's never gratuitously so. Like you take Man is Combat 7 as an example, like the most violent thing is that Hank rips a guy's heart out, but even that isn't like played up. It's just like, oh yeah, Hank is being really brutal in this scene. And like when Hank shoots someone, there's blood, but it's never like, oh yeah, look at all this blood. It's so sexy or something, or like, oh yeah, look at all this blood, baby. It's just, yeah, it's violence for the sake of violence, not for anything else. Granted, 20 blood bag items. Friday Night Funkin' is super nostalgic because Pico and Tank Man. I mean, boyfriend and girlfriend are good. Yeah, Man is Coming does it well. Yeah, JoJo is very body horror esque, especially in earlier parts. You kind of have to get through it. That game goes way too far. I mean, it's a good game. It just goes too far. Jeebus, I don't really mind because Jeebus is cool. Look at all the blood. Impasse in terms of like it's too violent or what? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, JoJo is pretty gory at times. Bloodless action series, like anime series. I have to think about that. Nichijou is good. I watched some episodes of it. I've been watching Agretzko. That's really good. Well, yeah, it's a really fun show. Oh yeah, Cowboy Bebop. That's a good example of a bloodless action. I don't think it's bloodless, but relatively so. John, if I did the Deltarune comment stuff, would you stay? Because I'm considering doing that right now, regardless of whether people want to see it or not. Deltarune moment. Subjectively worst anime. People would have your head for that one. Damn it. Okay. Slice of lice. I still want to do it. I mean, I'm not getting much of a response, but I might just do it anyway right now because I love Deltarune. I probably wouldn't get very far because I can't stay up very much. I can't stay up very late anyway. But yeah, I'm just doing it. I don't know how much. Yeah, that's true from what I've heard. I'll see you later on then. All right, fair enough. Have some good rest. Get some good rest, John. See you around. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't know. By the way, Dracos, in my Discord server, are you Shrek 4 on Blu-ray? Because I only asked because I think you had a Jujutsu Kaisen profile picture for a little while. If that was you. Hey, Andrew, you're just in time for me talking about Deltarune. Oh, it's not you? Okay. I don't know who that is then. I'll just send a link real quick. Blah, blah, blah. Generate. Go. This expires in 1 hour. You don't know what I just brought up. It's an anime. Okay. If someone warns you that the lyrics of a song are violent, trust them. It's too much for you. I know from experience. Yo, furry profile picture? As long as it's not porn. No shame on furry profile pictures, bro. We live in a judgment-free zone. It's very interesting how my Discord server works because I only give out the link during streams. So even though it's a public server, it still kind of feels private. Oh, you're one of those fucking people. Oh, God. Okay, I take back what I said. This is a judgment zone because I fucking hate it when people take, like, NSFW stuff and then crop it to make it... whatever, I'll allow it. I didn't remember that, Josh, but it does sound kind of familiar. If as long as it's not a Higyo, it's fine, I guess. You do have one, I never check it. I never played Undertale. Alright. I wonder if I should, like... I might have accidentally shown my email address. Well, no. I think... Let me check my YouTube channel real quick. Because that might be the email address that's publicly listed on my channel. I don't know if it is. That's just how I always pronounced it. Okay, that's not the email address I have listed, but whatever. It's not like I really care if people email that one either. Regardless, though, I wonder if I should do this and, like, actually show you... I don't know, that's kind of hard to read. Let me see. Yeah, that's hard to read. I'm in a whole 3 Discord servers. This is a big moment. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Welcome, welcome. I'm in like 30, I don't know, man. Oh yeah, I do remember when you got locked out. That was strange. We have 4 people watching, I'm so sad. I should have talked about Deltarune earlier. Then I could have kept my viewers. Oh, the Yume Nikki is more for just dreams in general. Which, I mean, you probably would be active there, so. Okay, I need to shut up and talk about Deltarune, because I love Deltarune. I guess I'll go back really quickly to what I was talking about with the world revolving. A lot of my excitement and, like, my passion is sort of, you know, my passion in the moment is kind of, you know, like faded a bit because like I played I played the remixed version of World Revolving like 2 hours, like an hour ago at this point, but political dreams. But yeah, I'll talk about World Revolving. It's like it's so good because like that song, even before having listened to the Man on the Internet like lyric version, there's a distinct sense of tragedy in it. I don't know what it is. There's a sense of feel. It's a song that's literally, again, Drakus, I don't think you're gonna get very much out of this, but hopefully you'll be here for my passion. I'm not gonna count right now how many servers I'm in. All right, Sleepy Dog. In the channel, no. In general, definitely. Jamal is here, yes. Dude, my viewer count shot up when I started talking about Deltarune. It's a sign. But yeah, like it's so interesting, like because the world revolving is like. I talk about this. I guess I'm not going to go in order when I start talking about my comments Like I'll just start with the world revolving right now and go in the order that I want of like whatever song pops in my head I'll talk about. But it's so interesting because I talk about I mentioned this in the notes I have for my comments on the world revolving, but Jevil is what completes Deltarune Chapter 1. Like, even after playing through Chapter 1 for the first time, I was like, this is really good. I really love this as a follow up to Deltarune. I mean, a follow up to Undertale. But it was missing something. Something about it just didn't feel complete. And it was only after I finally, like, it was odd because, yeah, Jamal's been here the whole time. That makes sense, Josh. I like fiction. I like using it as an escape. I try not to live in it too much, though. I mean, but to each their own. We're up to 9 the moment I start talking about Seltzer. Dude, the Jag is. I'm in the Discord server right now. The Jag is really good. It's just a really reliable wrench. Gotta use the Rescue Ranger. Anyway, like, TF2 Gaming. Engineer Game. um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna just tether myself to Deltarune. I've got on the topic. I can take detours to talk about other stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, fiction is important. If it wasn't for fiction, I would have died already. I would have just like exploded in real life from stress. Fiction is so important to help you get away from things. I mean, honestly, but like, yeah. So like with, I distinctly remember like after playing through Deltarune Chapter 1 for the first time, I was like, this is really good, but it, you know, I remember not. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's like, I played through the game, and then Andrew, who hopefully is still in the chat right now, asked me like, "Hey, what did you think of the game?" And I was like, "Oh, it was really good." And I wasn't like gushing about it in all caps like you would expect me to for like a Deltarune / Undertale related thing. I was just like, "Oh yeah, it was really good." And I had these thoughts about it. It wasn't something that I went crazy over, and I didn't really think about it too much in the days that followed. Until I fought Jevil finally, and I was like, this is where it all comes together, man. This is just like good. Good to hear, Andrew. Oasis in a singed land. He's made for you, bro. I'm not gonna say that. Wait, what did I say? I mean, cat videos are good. It's good to lose edgy sense of humor. I still have mine. Immortality and omnipresence. I don't think you don't even need to beat Jevil, honestly. Like, I mean, I just feel like him in general completes Deltarune. I don't even know what it is about it. Like, the song, the world revolving, completes the OST. Like, his presence in the game completes the story of Chapter 1 at least. The implications he has about the game, just the challenge he provides. Like, he is the pinnacle of Deltarune, at least in the moment of, like, Chapter 1 that's been released. He's the pinnacle of that, new combat system that Toby developed. Like, um, fiction is very special, man. Terminator animatronics. Like, the combat system in Deltarune is so good. Like, it's really good, but it never comes together. It never clicks. Never clicks. There we go. It never clicks until Jevil comes along. Because, the whole thing of, like, it's a really smart system. Like, you take the bullet hell of Undertale and you add in, like, there's a criticism to be made about the bullet hell in Undertale that it can get really repetitive. I never experienced that, but maybe if you're doing, like, genocide and you're fighting Undyne and you're fighting Sans. It's like, okay, I attack and then I have to dodge some stuff and then I attack again and maybe I heal, but that's it. And like, yeah, I can see that. I never played Genocide, so I wouldn't know. But like, I can see it being like, oh, there's not enough variety in the gameplay, and Act doesn't do anything 99% of the time if you're not playing pacifist. So Toby Fox, flipped that on its head, and it's like, okay, you need to play risky now if you want to, get as much benefit as you can and do as well as you can in the battles. You need to get close to the attacks in order to gain fuel to gain mana essentially for your spells, which is really smart. Um, Jevil adds so much, but I'll get to that. He used to dream of sleeping. Have you tried like? I mean, I'm sure you have. I was gonna say, have you tried like any sort of sleeping medication? I'm sure. I don't think I would. Anything I would suggest would be something you haven't tried already yourself. I'm talking Elidondo specifically. Um, who's Weezard? In the Discord, I'm asking who someone named Weezard just joined. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the same with me. I mean, I've tried taking sleeping medication. Well, not really. I mean, kind of. I don't think I've ever. I don't remember actually. I don't think I have. But the common consensus I always hear from my friends is that sleeping medication doesn't help. It's probably just because stress. Undertale is a visual novel. That's an interesting comparison. I guess I could kind of see it. I use Headspace, the meditation app. It's pretty alright. Helps somewhat. Keeping a journal has also helped me, like writing in the journal before I go to bed each day. Yeah, good old Mother 3. I still haven't beat it. Oops. But yeah, like the rhythm-based, what's it called, combo, which I never got the hang of. It's very difficult. But yeah, like taking, you know, so now there's incentive to spice up the bullet hell segments by dodging and stuff. But by like playing risky and going close to the bullets as possible. Um, and that fuels your TP, which is actually useful now because your act, quote unquote, is actually useful because you can cast spells that heal yourself, that weaken the opponent, that let you spare them in some cases, and let you use more powerful attacks. Um, the fact that like it's been a while, honestly, I don't even remember. Like you can spare opponents just by acting on them, I think. Andrew, you're gonna have to remind me if you remember. I think you can spare opponents just by acting on them, but there are some opponents that you just have to use Pacify on, so it is a necessity to gain that mana in some cases. So that's a big improvement, and the magic system is a big improvement. Just it's a much improved and much polished up system. Um, yeah, same here, Elidondo. It's catching up to me with me now though. But despite how good the combat system is, you never really get to see a full showcase of it until the Jevil fight because there's, at least for me, I think this was the intention. I would at least assume. I don't think there's any combat encounter or any battle in Undertale that is difficult enough to the point where you have to intentionally focus all your efforts into getting as close to the bullets as possible while not getting hit by them, to gain as much TP as possible, to maximize every single turn so that you can survive and not die, and then you can end the fight quickly so that you don't die because of how difficult the fight is. The hardest fight besides Jevil is Chaos King, and he's not that bad. I beat him first try, I think. And, you don't need to force yourself to, like, you know, get it super close to the bullets and everything just to beat him. You can beat him pretty, he's a challenge, sure, but he's not like he doesn't force you to use everything you know about the game. So if you play through the game without fighting Jevil, it's like okay, this combat system's kind of cool, but it's not super neat. But then you fight Jevil, and this is like the aspect one of like 50 that Jevil completes in Deltarune. It's like he forces you to master, or at least as close as you can get to mastering it as the game is right now. He forces you to master the combat system because if you aren't collecting as much TP as possible per turn, you're going to get wiped. Like you need the healing, you need to be able to tire him out. You need to do all this stuff. If you aren't playing optimally, you're going to fail, and that added challenge. Being able to get super familiar with the mechanics because of how his fight plays out and how difficult it is, that adds so much more value to the combat system and it makes me appreciate the game a lot more. And that's just one part. I wish King's Fight was harder. I wish Deltarune was harder in general. Did Toby say he was going to include difficulty options? I don't remember. But I mean, maybe the future chapters will get harder. But yeah, so like there's that, and then in terms of story, it's like, oh man, like the whole stuff about like, I mean, you could completely miss the stuff with Sham and like how Sham sealed Jevil away and everything, but I love that so much. Like it's prime ship material, like shipping Jevil and Sham. And at the same time, it adds so much flavor to the Dark World. Like the Dark World was already a super poppin' world that was super vibrant and memorable. But before Jevil, it kind of felt like, oh yeah, it's the underground, except not as interesting because it doesn't have an entire game to flesh it out with. But that little addition of like, oh yeah, at some point in the past, Sham locked away Jevil somehow. Like, how the fuck did Sham lock away Jevil, this little shopkeeper plushie doll? How did he lock away arguably the most powerful Darkner in existence? What kind of monster was Sham back in the day? And it just adds so much lore and depth to the world because it's like there's an entire history here that you're not familiar with. Like, you know, it makes me wonder, so like that added bit of like history makes me then think like, okay, what was Chaos King like when compared to the other three kings? Which, as a side note, which I would have talked about, this is something that I would talk about in the comments I would leave on like I don't remember which track, but like I'm really fucking disappointed with the other kings. Like triple Jevil no hit run, yeah, wild, crazy. But like I'm really disappointed in how chapter 1 handles the kings because like Chaos, never forget, Chaos King is one of 4 kings. There were 3 other kings. There was like the King of Diamonds, the King of Aces. No, wait, that's not it. King of Aces is like a YouTuber, I think. I don't remember. But there's the King of Spades, the King of Clubs, and the King of Diamonds. But the King of no, I'm stupid. The King of Hearts, the King of Diamonds, and the King of Clubs. Those were the other 3 kings, and the King of Spades was the 4th one who becomes the Chaos King. And you actually do see the 3 other kings locked up in a cage in the basement. They're just like, oh yeah, we're the kings. We were really important. And they're just there for a one-off joke, and they don't even get freed in the ending where everyone, the Chaos King gets locked up, and everyone is hanging out. Like they're still locked in their fucking cage, and it's just so like you're telling me that these 3 kings who governed with the Chaos King back in until recently in the Dark World's history, they just don't matter. They're not important. Come on, man, you're better than this, Toby. But that's weird. I shouldn't say that. I don't know. It was disappointing to me, but like it makes me wonder, like what that little bit of history with Jevil and Sham. It's like, well, what was Jevil like before I went insane? What was Sham doing back in the day? You know, like what was Chaos King like? What caused Chaos King in particular to become the one to overthrow the rest of the kings? What was the Dark World like before the Chaos King took over? It's such a fascinating glimpse. Oh God, did I say something that like piqued the Homestuck interest? Like, did I say something that indicated that I would like Homestuck? I feel like I did. Um, um, Fun fact related to this, not related to Homestuck, but related to the history of the Dark World. I did actually um, make an animatic, or I wrote up. I didn't make it. I have this thing where I write up animatics, like I write up storyboards for animatics, where it's like I'll take a song and then I'll be like, okay, from 20 seconds to 25 seconds, where this lyric plays, this happens on screen, and I've done that for like a bunch of songs at this point. And I did one of those for the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson, which is the funny haha JoJo song, but it's a really good song. Um, I made it. I wrote an animatic storyboard for that song with about Deltarune, and specifically about the history of the Dark World before the players show up, before Chris and everyone shows up and everything. I think turned out pretty okay. I could show it honestly, but I don't know. Love the passion. Thank you. I'm glad. That's the goal here. Even I want people who don't care much about Deltarune to be entertained. Yo, Scrounch. Hold on a second. Toby's creative fuel is very Homestuck pilled. It's a scary phrase. Some creative decisions of him make sense when you find into things. Yeah, I would on I it's a reasonable conclusion to assume that if I loved Undertale and Deltarune this much, I'd probably like Homestuck. Would I actually get into it though? Will I actually get into it though? Well, that remains to be seen. It seems like a huge time sink. I have faith in Toby, honestly. People, I have faith that it'll be good. It'll be fantastic. Hey, you're home. Nice. Homestucked. Gotcha, yeah. Yeah. Good old back. God, I stopped reading back because I'm just bad at keeping up with like web comics that are not finished and are constant and are like in the process of updating. Back, I was super into back, and then I just stopped reading because I, couldn't keep up with the commitments. I really need to go back and read through the whole thing now that it's finished, but I haven't found the time to. God, but that is a trade offer, Corvus. Stuck with the visuals are fantastic. Like the artists are great. The visuals just pop, man. Um, Trade offer. I receive JoJo. You receive Homestuck. Um, you receive pain. Erase this meaningless world and move on to the next. But yeah, a point of no return. God, that's also true, probably. But like really quickly, just going back to what I was saying, I wrote a animatic storyboard about the history of the Dark World, like, you know, the stuff with the knight, who I believe is Chara, you know, um, the knight showing up, Chara showing up, and gifting Chaos King with the power that he needed to overthrow the rest of the kings, like Sham and Jevil being like, the court just Sham and Jevil being the court magician and the court jester, specific, like, respectively, like both of them working together to like entertain the Dark World and stuff. Very Alice in Wonderland esque, because the game itself is out very Alice in Wonderland esque. Um, I think that's canon. I tend to forget what's canon and what's just something I made up. Like them being the court magician and court jester specifically, I think that's canon. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, like, and then also like Jevil's imprisonment, etc., etc. I think it's a pretty cool one. I'm not gonna go through it right now though. It is okay. Yeah, it seems like it's canon. I think Sean brings it up himself. But yeah. So anyway, like Jevil lore wise, again, he adds so much depth to the world of to the Dark World, and like it adds its own history and its own sense of intrigue, and like, the whole stuff of like his worldview ever since he met that strange he had that strange encounter became darker yet darker. Like, oh my fucking god, Gaster is here. I mean, we already kind of knew that based on like discoveries about like, oh, Gaster's theme plays here and it slowed down, but like that is like official line from Sham in universe talking about Gaster. And it's like, how the fuck does Gaster relate to Jevil? Did Gaster create the Dark World? Is this a simulation? Like, what the fuck is going on here? And then it's like, Jevil himself mentions the knights, and it's like, it's just so intriguing. It just, oh my god, it teases my brain so much. And it's just, Jevil, the man, he adds so much depth to this game just by existing, man. It just, how does Sean know? I guess I don't fucking know, man. It's crazy. It's so good. I think Gaster could be the knight. Honestly, the main reason I think that the knight is Chara is because the knight is red. Like, whenever someone says the knight, the text is red. That's the main reason I think it's Chara, not Gaster. um, as for Sans versus Jevil, mm, I honestly can't say. If it was like an Undertale, if it was like a turn-based fight, then Sans, because he can cheat and like attack Jevil during the menu screens and stuff. But like an actual like fight in universe, I don't know. I have no idea. That's true. Um, yeah, Jevil is so interesting, and like he adds so much as well, because there's like, I don't remember what the dialogue was that implied this, but there was an implication that he knows he's in a video game, I think. Um, True, I didn't think about that. We talk about the angel in Deltarune. I'm gonna fucking just scroll down to the world revolving and see what I wrote there. I didn't write very much. Um, just says the world revolving. Explain how, at least in my perspective, Deltarune felt incomplete without Jevil. Like he was the missing piece of the puzzle that provided both a fantastic battle and tons of interesting world building. Talk about the fact that the track sounds both free and contained, and also contains an undeniable sense of sadness, which I do think the world revolving has. Like, it feels it feels free in a trapped way, if that makes any sense. Like, listen to the song if you want. I'm just gonna pull it up. I don't care about copyright. Um, could be. There is, you know, theories like is the angel Kara, is the angel Gaster, is the angel the player? You know, again, one of the most fucking confusing lines in all Deltarune is in the legend, which I'll also talk about because I love the legend as a song and a scene. But in the legend, they're like Rousey is like, you know, the heroes would come together to banish the angels' heaven. What the fuck does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. Like it could mean anything. It's so confusing. I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait and see. Oh, you can hear me now. Oh, me. No, I didn't. I had to go back for him. I missed one of the key pieces. Yeah, I was looking at world revolving. Yeah, let me. God strike me down if this is copyrighted, but too bad. Can you guys hear that? Not really. Okay, I'll turn it up a bit. It's really quiet. It's better? Okay. I mean, I'll turn up a bit more. Now you can hear me. That's... Why am I gonna hear myself talk? German 95! German 95! That's probably better. I'm just jamming. Toby's so fucking good, dude. How does he do it? How does he do it? Circus penis music. Even just this is making me sad, man, listening to this. I mean, that's fine too. You don't need to like him for like you don't need to like anything for deep reasons. I just like finding deep reasons. Thank you though. I'm glad that I'm not insane. Maybe I am, but people like it anyway. Circus penis music, yes. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It feels free, but in a confined way. Like, it feels like it's free, but only in the it feels like, I don't know, like, what's a good analogy? What's a good metaphor? Like, it's like being on a roller coaster, but knowing that roller coaster can only go on the track that's been laid for it. Or rather, like, maybe a better analogy would be like, it's like wandering free and like running around, you know, with all of the joy and contentment in the world, but knowing in the back of your mind that you're still trapped and that, you know, that like running through what seems like an endless expanse or like an endless field, but knowing that at some point you'll run into the border and you can't get that. You'll never be able to get past that far. Maybe the repeated like use of the leitmotif at the end is part of what adds to it. Check out the Minecraft texture pack we made. Maybe later. I think Toby is one of those writers who doesn't write any outline or anything of that sort, and just sort of goes until he's finished, and the finished product is just a fury of passion and creative energy. I think that applies to everything else he does too. I think he just has vibes and he understands its content everywhere very well and just starts running. It's vibing it, yeah. I talked about it in my Field of Hopes and Dreams comment. Like, he's just such... His works just have so much heart and real passion in them that just I have trouble finding anywhere else. Clown and a warrior. Your analogy is giving me ideas. I'll look at that later. Elidondo. But yeah, there's something about this that just... It's fun, but restrained fun, I guess. You want the track to go even crazier and go even more off the rails, but it never does. Like... And there's just this element of sadness to it. It's buried underneath all the fun, but maybe it has something to do with like the chords or like the key that it's in or like the key changes, but there's just... You have to really focus on it to hear it and to feel it, but there is an element of sadness to it where, like... That's the same vibe I get from Jevo, where it's like it's almost like he's masking whatever pain he's feeling with insanity. And again, a lot of this could be caused by my, you know, my experience having listened to the Man on the Internet version, where that is the case. You know, him hiding behind insanity is the case. But I don't know, like... Oh, see ya, Sleepy Dog. It's just so good, like... Regardless of whether what I'm saying is regardless of whether what I'm saying is true or not, or whether it has merit, it's such a good song. It's such a good battle. It's just Jevel is so perfect. Like, he's just a little gremlin, man. And like smiling in the face of tragedy. That's perfect. Yeah, like, and it's probably because it's the Don't Forget Leitmotif. It's like, you know, I fucking love. I'll talk about the Don't Forget Leitmotif as well. Oh, good night, Phoenix. I'm losing everybody. It's fine. Like, I might as well read about the Don't Forget leitmotif as well. Like, if you don't forget, talk about how absolutely chilling the song is, especially given the scene it plays after. Point out the potential connection of lyrics to Chara, and mention how the inclusion of the song retroactively makes the entire soundtrack and experience of Deltarune much scarier. This is what I was talking about with the interpretations of Don't Forget being ambiguous, because when I first played the game, I was like, oh yeah, Don't Forget, it's a very heartwarming song about how, you know, the singer is... No! Okay, I might as well... I should probably stop soon anyway. I'll go as long as I can before I have to, you know, go to bed. Thank you very much, Phoenix. I appreciate that. Good night, Josh. Good luck tomorrow. Thank you. You're all very cool. Yeah, that's fair enough. Don't worry about it. Again, good luck. I'm gonna, like, emotionally annihilate myself by typing this up. Oh, that's not what I meant to. That's not what I was looking for. I'm looking for the Deltarune version. See, time to die.
Chromebooks are seriously.
Wow, this is my favorite track from Deltarune.
Just sign in with your Gmail and bing. All your files are right there. Now get after it, because you're good to go. Switch to setting up the easy way. Switch to Chromebook.
Switch to Chromebook, guys. Yeah. Just a refresher for the song, because I would sing it myself, but I don't want to, because fucking Laura Shigahara. That's weird. I shouldn't like say a real person's name like that. Like fucking Toby, But like freaking Laura Shigahara, the composer of the Plants vs Zombies soundtrack and the person who sings "Zombies on Your Lawn," coming in and singing "Don't Forget" on Deltarune. That's wild to me, man. Fun fact if you didn't know that, yeah, the person who sings this is the person who did the OST for Plants vs Zombies, which is a fantastic game. I have 3 viewers. But yeah, let me just play this right now. And I mean, I could probably go over this again in a different stream when I have more viewers. Just because I'm talking about it right now doesn't mean I can't talk about it again later. Do 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 do. Yeah, I'll just play it.
When the light is running low and the shadows start to grow, and the places that you know seem like fantasy, there's a light inside your soul that's still shining in the cold, with the truth, the promise in our hearts. Don't forget, I'm with you in the dark.
Full body chills, dude. Like, full body chills. Oof. But with that refresher in mind, finished PVZ for the first time. Interesting. Yeah, that is a whiplash in terms of what that person is singing about. But that song is so good, and like when it plays in the first time after seeing that fucking bombshell of an ending where, spoiler alert, I guess, where, Chris reaches in to their chest and rips out their own soul and tosses it into a cage while holding a knife, like, which to me is 1,000,000,000% confirmation that Kara is back and here to stay. Like, which who knows? Maybe it's just Toby trolling us because Chapter 2 looks pretty normal. But I think Char is back and they're here to make good on their promise to delete the next meaningless world, starting with this Deltarune version. Just this idea that Chara is now going through different timelines and, just destroying them now that they've been set free thanks to all the genocide players. When you hear that song after that bombshell ending, you are just stuck. Like, you don't know what to do. Your jaw is on the floor after seeing that, and just that song plays, and you just, like, it just overwhelms you. Like, again, it is the emotional climax of the game. Like, I don't even know what it means necessarily. I have my theories based on, Andrew actually changed my mind on what the song means, which is now my prevailing theory. But, regardless of what it means, it's just such a powerful song, especially in that context of where it plays. And, like, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, it's a very sweet and comforting song that's meant to contrast with the creepy scene we just saw. It's about, like, it's, whoever is singing, this mysterious person is talking about how they're with you in the dark and they'll always be by your side. Like, maybe it's about Azrael, and it's about, how Azrael, maybe that's Azrael's voice who's singing it to you, and they're talking about, like, if things get bad, Chris, I'll always be here for you as your brother. Exactly, Jamal. But then, I talked with Andrew about it, and he's like, no, and this is, I think I got a much darker implication, because let's break down the lyrics, right? When the light is running low, and the shadows start to grow, and the places that you know seem like fantasy, that could be referring, it could just be a general thing, but let's say it's referring to the dark world, because it's like, obviously, light running low, darkness, shadows start to grow, the Chaos King is trying to raise the dark fountain or whatever to make the shadows grow over the dark world. And the places that you know seem like fantasy, once you end up in the dark world, you're not sure what's real or not. The real world seems like fantasy and everything seems unfamiliar. So, when you're in the dark world, essentially, just take those first four lines as like, hey, when you're in a place like the dark world, there's a light inside your soul that's still shining in the cold with the truth, the promise in our hearts. What does that mean? Well, there's a light inside your soul still shining. I don't know what the cold's referring to. It might just be a line, but for the sake of it. But there's a light inside your soul that's still shining in the cold with the truth, the promise in our hearts. What promise is that singer talking about? Well, considering that we hear that song directly after we see Chris rip out their own soul, potentially being possessed by Kara, what if that promise is the promise that the genocide players made to Kara? The promise that, that they'll become partners from now on and destroy as many universes as they can. Or even just the promise of give me your soul, which, Kara wants you to do at the end of the genocide run to give them as much power as possible. So even when you're in somewhere like the Dark World that seems totally removed from the underground and everything, even there, that promise you made sticks with you, and it will never go away. You'll never be able to escape Kara. Don't forget, I'm with you in the dark. Like, fucking terrifying. Like, and the fact that it is, if, this interpretation of the song, in this interpretation of the song, the fact that such a terrifying sentiment is being expressed in such a beautiful sounding song is a very Chara thing to do. Like, I can imagine Chara as a way to, in an attempt to mock the player, assuming Chara has gone off the deep end and has become like full genocide monster or a full genocide like world destroyer. I could see them just singing like a little lullaby to the player, like in this beautiful voice, because if this is Chara singing it, I mean, this is Chara's canonical voice. Which is why I think it's funny that it's Laura Shikahara, because, because it's a very nice sounding voice for Chara, of all people, at least, the genocide version. I can just see them being like, hey there, little buddy, remember, I'm never going to go away, and, the mistakes you made will always haunt you, that kind of thing. Like, I can, that doesn't necessarily apply to me or anyone who didn't actually do genocide themselves, but it's like the brilliant thing about this twist, if it is the direction that Toby's going in, which I think it is, but who knows. The brilliant thing about this is that it doesn't matter if 99.99999% of players never did genocide. In universe, all it would take is one timeline where a single player did genocide once for Char to become an unstoppable god, because that's how it works. You give Char the power in a single timeline, they get the power to destroy all timelines, and they start doing that. And it's like, literally the moment Toby released Undertale, he would have been able to start production. I mean, I know he started production on them concurrently, but hypothetically, he could have started Deltarune production immediately after releasing Undertale, because he would know some fucker in this world is going to do genocide. It's a guarantee. So it's like, because of how human beings work, the sequel is all but, a sequel with the idea of Chara goes around trying to delete all the timelines. That's guaranteed. Like, that's going to happen no matter what. Exactly. Like, there's different, as I was saying, there's different interpretations possible of that song. Like, it can be that creepy thing it can be that creepy interpretation I talk about, or it could be genuinely, like, uplifting as, like, a message of hope to end the game on. You see a very disturbing thing in the form of Chris ripping out their soul, but then the game ends with a very hopeful message of, like, don't forget, I'll always be with you, my friend. But, who knows? We won't know until the full game comes out, and even then we might not know. But you know, assuming that going with the interpretation, the very creepy interpretation that I'm talking about, it makes the game that much scarier because you listen to the soundtrack and you hear the "Don't Forget leitmotif" showing up all the time, and it's almost like you can choose to interpret it. It doesn't have to interpret it this way, but you can choose to interpret it as like Kara kind of forcing their way into the game like a virus. Like if "Don't Forget" is associated with Kara, then it showing up in completely unrelated themes like the Starlit Forest theme, or like the theme that plays when Toriel drives you to school, or World Revolving, or any of the other songs that it shows up in the Field of Hopes and Dreams and everything. That's Kara forcing their way into this game and like forcefully integrating themselves into its world, into this timeline. It's terrifying, man. The ending of Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah, it's like Toby knows that even if the game wasn't super popular, one person on the goddamn planet would have done it, and that's all you need to ruin everything in the MJ universe. I mean, I do have faith that the ending of Deltarune is going to be not super doom and gloom, and Chara will be somehow staved off from destroying everything. But it is kind of fucked up when you think about it in the context of Undertale, where it's like all it takes is one person doing genocide to give Kara the keys to the kingdom, man. And I mean that's a valid interpretation as well with Noel. What was I saying though? Again, there's so many different interpretations. I like the Kara interpretation because I think it's the one that lends itself the most to like theory crafting. Well, and also is this? It's the one that I think is the most narratively interesting because it heralds Kara's arrival even more. But yeah, and so you listen back to the Deltarune OST retroactively, and you're like, oh shit, you know, with this interpretation, it means that Kara is coming, man. And I could be wrong. We could be wrong, Andrew and I, but I think it makes sense. And that's why Before the Story is such a perfect song to actually place at the end of the OST. I talked about this in my video called Where I've Been / plus the importance of Deltarune. Yeah, that's what it's called. Where I've Been plus the importance of Deltarune. It was like 2 years ago that I uploaded it. And it's just like, if you really want to know my thoughts on that fully, you can watch that video. It's near the end it's near the end of the video because I describe my thoughts on that a lot more eloquently than I'd be able to now. But like, it's just perfect, man. Deltarune and Undertale are perfect. Yeah, I won't go into Before the Story and stuff right now. I'll get into that later. But yeah, Jevil is perfect. I love Jevil so much. What track do I want to talk about now? If I want to, yeah, let's see. I guess I could talk about good old Chaos King. And again, I prefer to be able to talk about Chaos King in a stream with more viewers because it's such a good song. It's one of my favorite songs in the entire OST. But whatever.
With the timeless protection of ADC,
Blah blah blah.
safe to say, hey Google, unlock the front door.
I'm smiling so hard right now. Fuck it, I'm gonna sing the Man on the Internet. No, I'm not going to. But I already sang it in the home cover. Fuck it, I'm going to. I love it. Credits to Man on the Internet. Don't sue me. Love left us. There's a fucking entire backing track that I didn't even hear until now. God, it's so fucking good. Jesus Christ. I'm not singing it, I'm too busy listening to the music. Oh my god, it's so fucking amazing. No problem, Manster. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a good rest of your day. But fuck. I'm gonna give an interesting take here. I hope that there's. Hey, welcome back, Josh. I don't know why you're back. I need to be awake later, but nice to see you. I'm still talking about Deltarune, so excuse me. I just listened to Chaos King. I gave my thoughts on Don't Forget and the rest of the thoughts on the world revolving, along with some other stuff, I think. But yeah. God, yes. In response to what you said, Jamal, like, oh my god, it's so fucking good. Kissing. God damn it. Alright, goodbye, Andrew. You're gonna miss me ranting about the Chaos King and how good he is. But yeah, I'm gonna give a very hot take, which is that Chaos King is top 5 best characters in Deltarune, which really isn't saying much because I'm not counting like the Undertale characters. Like I'm not counting like the characters that debuted in Undertale. Like, you know, Alphys is really funny in. She's not even that funny. She's very depressing. But like, you know, Sans is funny and Asgore is really heartbreaking in, you know, when you get to the surface and when you get to the real world again. But they're Undertale characters, not Deltarune characters. Adulting. How adult? Yeah. All right. I understand. Goodbye. Good night, Andrew. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Adult. But yeah, like, fucking, in terms of new characters in Deltarune, like, you got Jevil, you got Sham, you got Rules Card, you got obviously the crew, Susie, Lancer, like, Rousey, Chris, everyone like that. In terms of the new characters that Deltarune introduced, which there aren't really that many of, honestly, if you counted them, the important ones at least. But out of those, I honestly, hot take, super hot take, Chaos King is top 5. Like, he's so fucking good. And people sleep on him. People think that he's boring and, you know, just underdeveloped and annoying. And it's like, that's the point. That is the point. And I'll explain what I mean. Because it pisses me off when people criticize Chaos King. Because it's like, you don't understand. No, but it's like, it just, if there's so much going on with Chaos King that it's so brilliant because it's like, here's the thing: if Chaos King was not in Deltarune, if he was not in Undertale, if he was in a game that was not related to Undertale, he'd be boring as fuck. He'd just be he'd be fun in that he'd be like really evil, and again, he'd obviously have a really fucking amazing theme, but he would be a really boring character because he's just like, oh, I'm gonna get revenge on those darn Lightners, and I'm gonna threaten my own son, and, you know, use him as a hostage or some shit. You know, he's just a shithole. He's just a shithead, And it's like, yeah, he has a kind of tragic motivation in that, the Lightners, he feels like the Lightners turned their back on them, which maybe they did. We don't know for sure. But he has a understandable motivation. Um, Racism moment. Hold on a sec. That is part of it. Absolutely, that is part of it. Yeah, like if you were in, yeah, because outside of the context of Deltarune and Undertale, he's not very interesting. Like, yeah, he has a tragic motivation, sort of, but that doesn't excuse him trying to kill his own son. Like that's where he lost all means of redemption, and like he's super evil, and that's who he is. That's who he's presented as, and yes, exactly like Flowey said. I'll get to that in a second. Um, like fucking uh yeah, so he'd be boring otherwise, but in the context of Deltarune, in the context of Undertale, and in the context of an Undertale related game, he is so fucking incredible because that's a good place to start. As Jamal said, he is that truth, that reality, that harsh, horrific, terrifying, awful reality that Flowey told you in the very beginning of Undertale. What if you meet a relentless killer? Someone who will, or whatever the heck he says. There's no one else like him in the entirety of the Undertale series. Like, I'm trying to remember what the exact quote was. But like, except maybe Kara, but even Kara, you have to push Kara to get to to reach that point. I'm gonna look at the quote. I might as well. Yeah, but what will you do if you meet a relentless killer? You'll die and you'll die and you'll die until you tire of trying. And you know, most people, and me too, honestly, would assume, everyone would assume it's a logical conclusion. Only playing Undertale, not playing Deltarune. Before Deltarune came out, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he's talking about himself. He's talking about Omega Flowey." Because what do you do when you meet Omega Flowey, who was a ruthless killer? You die and you die and you die. But the difference is you don't give up. You keep trying. You get them to stop. But even Flowey, who bills themselves as a relentless killer, had layers. Even Flowey had a tragic backstory that justified, honestly, what he did. And even Flowey was redeemable in the end. Flowey was you could spare Flowey, you could let him get away, you could let him complete his story. You could let him show you everything that he was hiding, everything that made him who he was, and that drove him to do what he did, and you could forgive him for it. You can't forgive Chaos King. Flowey was not the imposter. The Pope? Nah. That he was talking about Asgore. Asgore's not really a ruthless killer, though. Because that's another thing. I'm going to get into that. About Asgore. And the connections between Asgore and Chaos King. Like, I'm just going to read this out, honestly. Because it'll go through everything. Like, okay, look at how much I talked about, like, let's say... Look at how much I wrote for, like... What's a good... Look at how much I wrote for, like, Don't Forget as, like, notes. Like, this is how much I wrote of, like, oh, here's what I would talk about in the comment about Don't Forget, right? Here is how much I wrote to talk about Chaos King. You can't spare Asgore, but that's part of it. Oh, it's so good. He's determinedly set on killing you and other humans. So I'm just going to read what I have for Chaos King. So, in the Chaos King comment, I don't know what you're talking about, Slimy. Flowey would paint Asgore as a ruthless killer. But yeah, in the comment I'd say, so yeah. Talk about how King of Spades is a fantastic character and one of the best characters in all of Deltarune. Not because of what he is, but because of what he isn't. Specifically, how he completely goes against everything that had been established throughout Undertale about everyone being redeemable and everyone having their own story, and how terrifying he becomes as a result of that contradiction with the fundamental principle of the series itself. Also, go over his dichotomy with Asgore. They're both duty-bound kings with tragic pasts, one being motivated by compassion and grief, Asgore, and the other being motivated by hatred and spite. Talk about how King of Spades retroactively strengthens Asgore's character by showing what he could have become, and also point out how Asgore's looking down thread vaguely resembles King of Spades. I can pull it up right now. Yeah, Asgore doesn't want to kill, but, you know. Chaos King, on the other hand, you know. Yeah, so, you know, the classic Asgore sprite where he looks down and he looks weird. And then you have... Oh, yeah, I should specify Deltarune. Oh god, there's not safe for work art. Hold on. Lancer's great. Yeah, you got the King of Spades, and then you got... It's a bit hard to tell, but like... They have similar... I'm not showing you that. They have similar silhouettes. They both have capes, you know. They both have like a little crown thing. They both have... I mean, they both have crowns because they're kings. But like... Like the way that Asgore's face looks, and the way their face is shaped, honestly, when they're looking down, I feel like there is some similarity at least. Lancer's great. Lancer's perfect, man. I love Lancer. Yeah, their eyes and faces are obscured by shadow. But going back to what I was saying, could also bring to the point that Andrew mentioned about King of Spades acting similarly to the player in a genocide route, complete with the pretend to be spared and then attack for maximum damage strategy. And, you know, how that makes... That's interesting. Maybe King of Spades learned that trick from Kara because, you know, King of Spades is related to the Knight, and the Knight might be Kara. Anyway, and it gives you a POV of what fighting... of what Sans and, you know, Undyne must have felt when they were fighting you, of like, this is a fucking psycho who cannot be reasoned with whatsoever, you know? That same sense of desperation. Yeah. That's just great. Then, Sand. Then talk about the actual track itself. How it's made to sound like a typical NES boss fight theme, just like Asgore, to keep things feeling like a normal video game, and how it excels so greatly in that genre. Also, how the uses of the card castle and Lancer motifs help build tension before the formally pensive... I'll get to that in a sec. The uses of the card castle and Lancer motifs, which I'm just going to play this again and die emotionally, but, you know. You hear this in Card Castle. This is literally just Card Castle. And then it builds. The forcefulness, the hatred, the spite. A race imprisoned for generations. Broiling, that disgust and animosity just broiling under the surface till it erupts. The evil coursing through his veins. And then the Lancer leitmotif, Lancer's theme. The fact that they make Lancer's theme scary sounding, which is hilarious. Taking something that was once so mischievous and lovable, appearance of his son and distorting it into something horrific and sadistic. And then I gotta pause here because the best part of the track's coming up. So yeah. Chaos King is interesting sans his character traits. I mean, kind of. Everything, again, he's interesting because of what he isn't. And absurd and sadism. Yeah, so I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, how the uses of the card castle and Lancer leitmotifs help build tension before the formerly pensive and mysterious-sounding last section of the legend is transformed into an utterly driven, unrelenting crusade against the player, as King of Spades fights to keep the fountain open, essentially capturing the entire character of King of Spades solely through the expert use of leitmotifs. You know I love my leitmotifs, and Toby clearly does too. It's so fucking good. Like, raise show of hands here. Who was aware that the ending of Chaos King is the ending of the legend? Because I didn't realize that for a little while. I didn't even mention... Nice. I didn't even fucking mention in the comments that you can also draw upon Chaos King, because, you know, another interesting thing about Chaos King, because there's so many layers to this dude, surprisingly enough. Another interesting thing about Chaos King is that, you know, if you go by the theory that, you know, a lot of stuff in the Dark World is drawing upon... I'll play it for you, Jamal. A lot of stuff in the Dark World is... Yo, B-Man! What's up, B-Man? Nice to see you. Let me pull up the legend, Deltarune. But yeah, as I was saying, like... You caught me in the middle, B-Man, of Deltarune discussion. If you go by the theory that stuff in the Dark World, like, if you go by the theory that stuff in the Dark World represents, you know, different stuff that different aspects of Chris's, like, perspective on things, like, you know, Rousey is there and is actually Asriel somehow, you know, does that mean that Chris views Asriel as, like, this very fluffy boy who's, like, just all cute and stuff? Does this mean that they view, like... Because you see a lot of hints that, like, oh yeah, when you wake up, you're in a supply closet with checkerboards and, like, a big checker piece on the ground, and there's, like, your sword turns into a pencil. So it's like, is it a cognitive world that's meant to show, you know, Chris's mind? If so, why the fuck does Chris view Asgore like that? Why does Chris demonize Asgore and make him into a monster? Because who else could... If every NPC in the Dark World represents a real life person that Chris knows, who else could Chaos King be than Asgore, you know? And if that's the case, why does Chris hate Asgore so much? Dark World Headspace game theory. Omori moment. That's like a spoiler, kind of, not really though. Chris viewing their own something as a prince while they're just a warrior is very interesting. Very true. What is Chris's relationship with Asriel? We don't know yet. And I really want to find out. Tori got the kids, so something happened there. Yeah, they're divorced. We don't know the context. Asgore seems like a really sweet guy. So what the fuck happened? You know, we don't know the context of the divorce. If that is a glimpse into Chris's perspective, then what the fuck happened? You know, it's so interesting to me. But anyway, I'm going to show off for... it could be Toriel, I guess. I feel like it'd be the Chaos Queen, though, if that was the case. Because there is no mention of a queen in Deltarune, I don't think. Oh, wait. Josh is saying wait. Yes. All right, yeah, yes. Please tell me. I need the Deltarune theories, man. So you know what Asriel's entire deal is in Undertale? I think about Asgore frequently, so yes. 7 human souls. Yeah, that's another question. Who the hell is Lancer supposed to be? If it represents Chris, it's kind of funny. Inevitable war. Why aren't there any other humans? Oh god. I would fucking hope not. Because we do see, like, in... I'm trying to... The details are kind of fuzzy. But... We do see in Asgore's, like, attic or something, like... Do we see the 7 human souls, or do we just see, like, the container? I think we see 7 flowers that have the same color. Yeah, we do. Which is very interesting. Yeah, like, where the fuck are the humans? Is this just a reality where there were no humans? But then why is Chris there? If Asgore fucking murdered all the humans, like, Jesus Christ. And I guess it would be a very Asgore thing to do, to, like, murder all the humans after gaining the 7 souls out of, you know, a sense of, like, I'm doing this for the sake of sake of monster kind so they don't get wiped out again. And then, after all is said and done, to fucking retire to a flower shop and get divorced. That's a very Asgore thing to do. Yeah, that's true too. Because that is something I'm thinking, like, I was also thinking, like, you'd think that if Asgore killed all of humanity for monster kind's sake, that they would treat Asgore more differently, at least, because they seem to treat him like every run-of-the-mill monster. Like, Noel's dad, whatever his name is like, just treats him as like another friend. But, like, maybe it was Char's plan, correct? Maybe I was thinking, like, you know, to account for that, maybe Asgore in this hypothetical scenario used the power of the 7 souls to literally rewrite reality so that humans never existed except for Chris, and that's why the monsters don't treat him as anything special. But maybe Chris remembers somehow. Deltarune, man. God. I'm gonna really quickly show what I was talking about with the legend and Chaos King. I mean, like, the last part of Chaos King being the legend, the last part of the legend. Yeah, so it's not here. Yeah, so this part. Let me put it on 2 times speed. And then, of course, listen to Chaos King. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so fucking perfect. And it works so fucking well because it's like, you know, in the context of, hey, welcome back, Blue. It is kind of hard to catch without, it's easier since I put it on 2x speed. Oh, see ya, Josh. Thank you for dropping the really good theory, though. I appreciate that. That's fucking terrifying to think about. But yeah, good night, good luck. See you around, my friend. To answer your question, Blue, it was Chaos King, but then I switched over to the Legend. But, like, my god, man. Like, just to go back to talking about Chaos King for a bit, like, and the track itself, like, it's so fucking good. Like, the fact that the climax of the song is just the Legend, the end of the Legend, but sped up, because it's like, I'm gonna fucking pull up the cutscene, I don't even give a shit. God, I'm getting chills just looking at this. But yeah, so you look at this. You look at the actual Legend cutscene. It's so fucking good. Oh my god, yes. Like, it's so fucking good. Like, I left a comment on... The comment actually left on the Legend was something like, this was the moment that I knew that Deltarune was going to be as good as Undertale. Where it was like, the golden storybook art, the epic music, just the story being told and the legend being relayed. It's perfect. It's perfection. Funny how the world is capitalized, because it's like save the world. The track. Anyway. Today, the Fountain of Darkness. The geyser that gives this land form. Stands tall at the center of the kingdom. But recently, another fountain has appeared on the horizon. And with it, the balance of light and dark begins to shift. It's so fucking good because you listen to the legend, the actual legend that's being told to you by Ralsei, and it's like, prophesied in the ancient texts or whatever, like, that this would happen, that the balance between light and dark would shift again, right? And you need to assemble this band of heroes, the classic fucking, like, Fable setup, You're living out a Fable in real time. And, you finally get to the Chaos King, the being that is trying to, make this prophecy true and, try to tip the balance of light and dark into the favor of the dark and to open up and protect the Dark Fountain, and what leitmotif plays during the climax of your battle with him, presumably, but this. And then it's like, you're fighting him, and then destiny realized. This is him, just... The ancient legends were told of this battle, like, memes aside, like, taking what was formerly, again, a pensive and very introspective ending to the legend song, and turning it into a fucking, just, weapon. Fueled by malice, fueled by dark determination, just... Oh my god. Again, mangling it beyond comprehension, turning it into something fueled by hatred and spite and animosity. Just... It's so good. And then the fucking Man on the Internet lyrics. Again, credit to Man on the Internet. You should check out his version of the lyrics. Was like, it's like, and who are you to dare my domain? Only a fool would try and stop the rain. The king of chaos, the king of pain, has answered the call. And who are you to challenge the night? Only a fool who thinks they're in the right. You lost before, you picked this fight. Oh, it's so good. Deltarune is amazing, dude. Stops for a second. On Deltarune, what do you make of that one bunker with the Gaster sounds? It's interesting. I like to imagine that. I like to imagine this kind of contradicts Josh's theory potentially. Maybe not. But at least the theory that humanity was wiped out by Asgore. I like to imagine, because it's very, very creepy, I like to imagine that that bunker is the entrance to the underground, and that below the bunker in the underground is the humans, and that the monsters, flipped the script on them and imprisoned them underground. Which I don't know how that would work, because the barrier, well, actually, that's really fucked up, because a human can't cross the barrier in Undertale without the soul of a boss monster. So if you just trap them down, if you trap all the humans down there with the same barrier but with no monsters to kill, then they're just stuck. That's fucked up. I didn't even think about that. And maybe Gaster's theme is playing there because Gaster played a role in locking them up, or maybe it's pointing to the fact that the entire world is a simulation made by Gaster. Who knows? It's a very creepy fucking area, though, and I really like it. I talked about this in a previous stream, but I really like it when a game, and it's something that's very unique to a game. Although, I guess you could achieve that same thing in like a movie or something. But I really like it in games. This happens a lot in horror games, but I like it in games when you enter a new area or something, or you encounter something that's very odd and bizarre and like strange and kind of unnerving, but you cannot learn more about it. You can walk around and you can try to interact with it, but nothing happens, or your character just has no comment on it. Because it's like, who knows? That bunker could be the key to figuring everything out about the lore of Deltarune. But we wouldn't know, because Chris doesn't want to tell us. Chris just has no comment. You go up to the bunker and you examine it, and I don't think it says anything. So it's like, we are imprisoned, we are restricted by what Chris allows us to experience as the players controlling them. So if Chris doesn't want to tell us, then we just won't know. So, yeah. But I think that's, if not the humans trapped in the underground, then at the very least that bunker leads to the underground, and the monsters sealed it away because they don't want to go back. Chris, let's cancel Chris. Chris is banned. Um, what else? I mean, I could go back over what I already talked about with Chaos King, like what I briefly went over in the comments, like in little discussions, like just I have not heard Zero. I think I have actually. Yeah, I have. But I think the rest of Deltarune is gonna be like, I have no fucking clue, dude. I have vague predictions, like Gaster's gonna get involved. Gaster's gonna get involved, Charles gonna get involved, there's gonna be some big battle. Things are gonna go off the fucking walls. in like, but that's gonna be like in the final act. I don't think, it's gonna happen in like chapter 2 or anything. Beyond those general predictions, I don't know. I have no fucking clue, man. Did he say that? I don't. That's interesting. Anyway, like, yeah, I should probably stop streaming in like 20 minutes, but until then, yeah, that's also a fair assessment. I would say that, like, if I was doing a really hard piano cover, it would take 99999 years. That's fucking weird to think about. Jesus Christ. If you're talking about Undertale, which I don't know if you are. But yeah, like, Chaos King is so terrifying because it's like he defies and spits in the face of everything that Undertale as a game is trying to tell you. Like, Undertale takes, I don't know, how long does it take to beat Undertale? Like 7 hours, 8 hours? It takes 8 hours in like the true pacifist run, like doing the neutral run and then doing the true pacifist run. It takes 8 hours to tell you over and over and over again that everyone has a story. Everyone is redeemable. Everyone, has a reason for what they do. Everyone, no one is truly the villain. Everyone is the hero of their own story. Chaos King spits in the fucking face of that and is just like, no, fuck you. Like, and it speaks to the horrible truth of reality that I think is true. Maybe other people would disagree, but it speaks to the thing that I believe is true about the real world. That, yeah, people like Chaos King exist. Like, when Asriel says, you can't, at the end of Undertale, he says, you can't solve everything with being nice. There's always going to be a lot of flowers out there. Chaos King was one of the people he was talking about. And there are people like Chaos King in the real world. Like, people you just can't reason with without, spending like 20 years talking to them. And that's terrifying to confront that in an Undertale related game. Because it's like, it's almost like Toby acknowledging the limits of his own, of the worldview that he presents in Undertale, which I still think is a very good worldview, but like, it represents a lot of maturity on Toby's part as well to be like, yeah, I feel very strongly about this whole like thing about all this message of like redemption and everything that is presented in Undertale, but that's not always going to be the case in real life, man. Real life isn't that clean. I am looking at my own stream just so I can read the chat. Oh, good night, Slimy Cadenza. Another game that was easier enough to work on to finish it first, which is wild. Do you think that ruin his character is redeemed later on somehow? What do you think of Make It the Char is good? I believe Char is the narrator in Undertale. Like, that's just 100% canon in my head. Do I think Kara is good? Do I think Kara is redeemable? Yes. I don't want Chaos King to be redeemed. I don't think he's ever going to be redeemed, but who knows? Maybe Toby will prove me wrong. I don't want it to be redeemed. I think it would. I think it would defeat the purpose of his character. He's such a dick. How could you redeem him? Like, sure, you could go the flowery route of like being like, there's a whole side to him that we didn't know, but like, I don't know, man. Toby would have to bend over backwards to get me to feel bad for him. Like, maybe you can make me, because I do kind of feel bad for him again, even now, in the sense of, the Lightners abandoned him and his people, but like, he took his own son hostage, man. That's fucked. It's gonna take a lot to like be like, oh, but he was really sad when he was a kid, Find to believe the fact that Chris is not control what we perceive, but he has the power to end the game when he wants to. Kara might. I don't know how much power Chris has in the grand scheme of things, but at the very least, they don't find the bunker interesting enough to comment on, from what I remember at least. But yeah, I think Kara is redeemable. I think Kara is very a character. Kara was a character. You can kind of see that in how I portray Kara in Yarsaw, in the sense that Kara is not a monster, is not a horrific evil person. You know, I see Kara as a very mentally damaged child who had an idea and had, who a mentally damaged child who had a lot of hatred for humanity, which is canon. We know that for a fact. Who had a lot of hatred for humanity, but did care about did care about the monsters and did care about their family. People can disagree on that, and I know there's evidence in canon to suggest that they didn't, but I would like to believe that they did. A person who cared about their family, their adoptive family, and ended up in a really fucked up situation, kind of their own doing, honestly. Somehow ended up as the narrator, or like the spirit that hitches a ride with Frisk, in all paths of Undertale. In the pacifist route, they learn through Frisk, because I love Frisk so much as a character. They learn through Frisk that things couldn't be better, and their worldview changes. Whereas in Genocide, you push Frisk to become a genocidal maniac, and that allows Kara to fully take over and be like, yeah, okay, I was right all along, we can kill, and the killing is fine. And that causes them to eventually become the monster and the horrific maniac they become at the end of the Genocide run. So yeah, I think that Kara is a person who goes down person routes and experiences things like a person does. He has enough control to take away our control of him, at least in battle over him, by throwing the heart in the cage. Yeah, I don't know if that. I think that's Kara, but it could be Chris, honestly. Thinking about Kara on good evil terms is limiting to their character. Yeah, they're a kid. They're a kid who probably went through a lot. Can you really use good and evil to describe them? Yeah. It's a good question. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. Well, because then that begs the question: could the other 6 humans do so? Because I don't think they could. It seems like Frisk's sole attribute is determination, so you think that'd be like something specific to them, or at least something that is not shared by everyone else. Because now it's like, oh yeah, humans with determination, but does that mean that everyone is able to use it, or is it just like a thing that they have? Yo, double team and V-Man. I don't know. Maybe, because Kara becomes like a determination singularity. Credit to Andrew for that phrase. Becomes like a determination singularity in the Genocide, but did they have that determination initially? I don't know. Probably not, honestly, because you'd think that they would have used it when Asriel died. Or like when both of them. Well, you think. Yeah, well, I guess. But then. Kara killed themselves and then went into Asriel's body in soul form, and then they both tried to kill the humans, but that didn't work because Asriel, decided not to. So maybe Asriel couldn't save and reset. Maybe he couldn't save and reset. Maybe Chara couldn't save and reset because Asriel couldn't. I don't know, man. What's your favorite part of Deltarune? Jevil battle ending. Rules card. the main man rules card. Easy answer. No, not really. Caretaker AU, yeah. I know that Caretaker AU does share some similarities, at least in how Kara is portrayed and how Asriel is portrayed in Yarsaw. But I never got into the Caretaker AU. It seems interesting. Never got around to getting into it, I should say. Rules card is amazing. He's the best. He's the greatest character ever made. Hugging Rousey, best part of Deltarune. Maybe. B-Man. I would believe so. Kara becomes a god at the end of Genocides. Like, why not? Really quickly on the topic of Frisk. I love Frisk, okay? Like, Frisk is one of my favorite video game characters. It is too, well, it's 1 a.m. for me, but I love Frisk so much. Like, people are like, oh, I mean, some people would be like, oh, but Frisk is a sad protagonist. They don't, no, shut up. Frisk is the greatest. Like, yeah, it's very cute. Frisk is so good. I love that little scamp. Like, fan art is a big reason why. Just like fan depictions of Frisk is like this child who is just this god of determination who uses their power to just save everyone they care about and save the world. Like, it's so inspiring. It's so wonderful. Like, just this kid, this weird little kid, this weird quirky little kid who falls into the underground and saves an entire race. I love that little guy. If you had the repercussions of Undertale via the spare and kill system with the character creation in the beginning, that'd be funny. I've seen that theory floated around before. That like your vessel will determine something. I don't think so. A theory I do like regarding the vessels is that the various vessels you make are the 6 humans that fell in Undertale, and I don't really know how that would work. But just as like, oh yeah, you know, that human you cobbled together who like has type O blood and like likes to smell pain. Yeah, and like has a bunch of different body parts. Yeah, that was, you know, the kindness soul who fell, or like that was the integrity soul who fell. I don't know how that works, but it's it's a very fun theory to think about. But their interpretation of Frisk, that's hard because there's a lot of them. There's a really good I think this thumbnail really encapsulates why I love Frisk so much, and you know what I think of when I think of Frisk. Yeah, like this dual mix. It's kind of hard to see. Frisk kind of looks scary. Frisk kind of looks scary in this like low quality recording, but like just like this fucking this fucking god of determination, with determination literally pouring out of their eyes, with like rainbows bursting out of them. Very gay, but a very gay lad. But you know, this little kid, this like 10-year-old kid whose determination is greater than that of 7 Soul Azure, greater than that of like literally the most powerful being in all of Deltarune and Undertale combined. Their determination is greater because that's just how much they love their friends, and that's how much they want to, you know, free their friends and save them. I just love that so much. Like, it's so inspiring, and it's like, and I love combining that interpretation of Frisk as this force of determination who cares so much and loves so much, and is such a, you know, an impossibly big heart. I love combining that interpretation with the interpretation of Frisk as just this big doofus and this dork who, you know, pets dogs and like, you know, hugs Papyrus and, you know, flirts with everyone that they see, and like, you know, like just, you know, laughs at Sansa's stupid like whoopee cushion jokes and stuff. Like, just a regular kid, a regular fun-loving, quirky kid who has the biggest heart in all of the universe. I just love that. 10-year-old kid who looked at Flowey, this being who tortured them, over and over and over and over and over again, killed them just countless times for no reason other than Flowey's own amusement, who looked at that being and said, "No, there's good in you, and I'm going to save you." It's so good. Chris technically dead to the fact that they literally cut a greater being out of their. I don't know. I mean, people like to say that, oh, Chris is like a zombie that Kara possesses, that you as the player possess and puppet around. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I like to imagine that Chris. Well, no, we know that Chris has like a very. That's another thing that's very interesting about Deltarune and about just like Toby in general. Like, he could have characterized Chris in any way possible, or even just chose not to characterize him. But he characterized him as like this creep, and like this. He characterized Chris as like this weirdo, who like pranked Noelle by hiding under her bed, like and poured ketchup on their face to make it look like blood, and characters like you're a lot more social now. You're usually like a big fucking weirdo. Like why did he make Chris like that? I'm so intrigued by that. What's Chris's deal, man? Yeah, like sure you as the player have to choose the actions, but like Frisk is such a dork, like in the game, and like based on what they, based on the options that are available to you at any moment. Like, fucking again flirting with everything you see, and like, you know, just yeah, it's great. And like Will Byers, zombie boy situation, where he's back from a world where everything was against them, and now something else is in control. In the analogy, this greater power is the player. I don't know enough about Will Byers, but I mean, could be. It's pretty much confirmed, I would say, that the player is puppeteering Chris in the game and causing Chris to act in ways that they normally wouldn't, like being more social. But, you know, why that's the case, we don't know yet. I gotta go to bed in like 3 minutes. Will the next chapter be a struggle for who's in control? Maybe. I mean, the screenshots that Toby has shared of chapter 2 seem pretty standard. Like, oh, you're in the city now in the dark world. But I don't know. I don't know about I don't know whether to trust Toby or not. I'm not going to bed until I'm not going to bed until absolutely it reaches to 1:15 because I don't want to end the stream early. I like streaming. Yeah, and doctor's outfits and like Halloween uniforms and Halloween, costumes. So I don't know. It's Toby's very unpredictable, man. And like people like to portray. Hey, what's up, Sleepy? Again, I'm gonna end the stream pretty soon, but you can stick around until that happens. But yeah, like I love Frisk, and people are like, oh, it's boring to have. Well, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't go that far, but like, there are a lot of interpretations that frame Frisk in like in a more like ambiguous and like nuanced almost way, where it's like, oh, Frisk is their own person who has their own, issues and has their own flaws and makes their own mistakes. But it's like I don't give a shit. Like, I Chris is in complete control. Will the whole game be won? Because I don't think they're gonna go. I don't think Toby would go that far. That's very daring, even for Toby. But like, I don't give a shit if it's unrealistic for a 10-year-old to be this perfect. Like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. Frisk fucking single-handedly went to the UN and like wrote a peace treaty between humans and monsters, and that's why there's no war. I don't give a shit if that doesn't make any sense. That's what happened. Frisk in their little business suit as like a 10-year-old walked up to the UN and like slapped a peace treaty in their face and was like, there you go, humans and monsters are peaceful now. And that's what fucking happened. There was no war, and like it just, I don't know, it works for me. Like Frisk has already done such incredible things and impossible things in the game, so it's like, why not take it even to the logical conclusion? Why not take it even farther? You know, but why not? Why restrict it to like, oh yeah, but then when they got to the surface, everything went bad. I don't like that, you know. And like, this is definitely my. My idea of Frisk is not, you know, and maybe Toby could like contradict it himself. I've been like if Frisk fucking shows up in Deltarune, I'm gonna lose my shit. But you know, this might not be a good interpretation of Frisk, but it's the one that I like, and you know, I'm kind of biased because I really like comfort characters. You know, if that term is correct, in my media, I like characters who are characters that I can look up to. And people are always like, "Oh, I don't like, you know, characters who are just good and who have no flaws because that's boring." But it's like, I get that, but at the same time, you can use characters like that from here and like, you know, now and again, because the real world is fucking complicated enough, man. Sometimes it's okay to have just a character who's just lovable and a goofball and good and pure-hearted, and that you can always count on to do the right thing. To have that character to look up to, and to respect, and to, you know, anchor you, and to be able to look towards for comfort and happiness. Josuke Higashikata from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Some people see past. Maybe. I don't know how Toby would do that though. Like having Deltarune as a game, like scan your computer for Undertale, and then checking the files of Undertale to see whether you did pacifist or genocide. That'd be pretty wild. But like, imagine if Frisk showed up in like a super epic scene where like Frisk jumps in to defend someone from Car or something, and Frisk fucking talks. Like Frisk wouldn't, but like, imagine if Frisk talked. They did do it with the save files, true. All right, last question I'm gonna ask before I go to bed. But why do you think Frisk went up that mountain? Honestly, there's several interpretations I like. I like the idea that Frisk went up the mountain just like on a bet, like on a dare from friends. I like the idea that it just got really clumsy and they were just climbing the mountain for fun and they accidentally tripped. I think it's bees. Do I think that Frisk climbed up the mountain to kill themselves? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think so. I definitely think, I mean, it's basically confirmed that Kara did, but I don't think Frisk did. And then there's the wild theory that I don't even really believe myself, but I think would be really funny. Like, could be. It's not a theory that I think makes any sense, or that I would personally believe, but I think it's really funny, and I would like to see this as like a comic. The idea that Frisk was like, oh, there's a race of monsters and a race of just people, like there's a race of like innocent people, pretty much. There's a race of, you know, of beings, there's a race of people trapped underneath this mountain. I'm just gonna jump in and free them, and I'm gonna go help them out, you know, because I want to help them out. They seem nice, and then they do that. That'd be hilarious. I think, you know, I like characters. Well, I like the concept of a character who just sets their sights on a fucking bizarre and seemingly impossible goal, like, and just does it, and is like not daunted by the impossibility at all. Like, I don't know, like a character's like, oh, I'm gonna kill the concept of chaos and kill the concept of, like, you know, evil, and they just do it. I mean, I assume that they did blue. It's never stated, but I think it makes sense. Anyway, yeah. That is the Undertale Deltarune discussion. Talked about the tracks for a bit, saving the rest of them for a different stream probably. Dedicated to that potentially, but you know, then we transitioned into talking about Undertale and Frisk and stuff. So yeah, this was a good return to form. Hadn't streamed in a while. It'd be really cute, lol, for them to think to themselves, I want to be friends with monsters. And they just do it, yeah. It's really cute, it's really heartwarming, and it's really awesome. That's really funny. But yeah, I hadn't streamed in 7 months. Came back with this. Intended to be a short stream, but it wasn't. Ended up being 4 hours and a chill stream, which I wasn't expecting it either. But it was fun. I kind of forgot how fun chill streams were. I hadn't done them in a while. Like 2 years. But yeah. Absolutely. You too, Jamal. Thank you for continuing to ask me questions. And giving me more chance to talk about stuff. I really appreciate that. No problem. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. You guys have a good night as well. Bye. Good night. Actual goodbye. B. All right. Bye. Good night.